Can they hear me on YouTube? Hmm? Hey there, folks. This is Dr. David. Check in. A little late on our pregame warm-up, but I just want to let you know we'll be starting at about 4 p.m. Pacific with our Secrets of Personal Transformation, Self-Transformation Supercharger mini crash course. Once again, if you're new to Planet David, make sure you have stuff to write on, write with, come with a good attitude, ready to do the drills and get the skills. This is going to be a little bit of a different kind of a class than you might be used to. So make sure that you have things to write on and write with. Caffeinated beverages, things that enhance neuroplasticity, because we're going to start talking today about beliefs and belief systems and how you can begin to reprogram your own subconscious mind and start to change your limiting beliefs, as well as things that sabotage you and things of that nature. So a special call out to all you guys out on YouTube who got here early, all of our Zoom family who have been waiting patiently in the wings. And if you have questions or anything like that, feel free to post them in the chat. If they're relevant to where we're at in the webinar, I will happily answer them. If they're not relevant, I will defer the question to my veterans who are joining us tonight, or I will ask you once again to repost your questions in the comments section when the replay of this video goes live. This is it's going to be a little bit of a deep dive for some of you. So, by all means, come in with a goodwill. I'm going to show you some really cool things that you can take out into the role right away. And I'm going to show you where to go to level your skills up. And that's all we've got for right now. I'm going to keep it real simple, real brief, just to let you know that I'm here, I'm ready, I'm waiting. And the more you participate in tonight's webinar, the more transformation, revelations, and understandings of yourself and the world that you live in, as well as how to reprogram and change your own mind and body, you're going to come away with. So that being said, this is Dr. David. I will see you in less than 15 minutes, or actually less than 16 minutes, I should say. And I'll probably repeat some of this just because it needs repeating. But other than that, if you know people who could benefit from the content of tonight's webinar, please don't hesitate to like and share the links, both to our Zoom crew as well as to our YouTube channel. And again, it's all about doing the drills and getting the skills. We're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to learn some cool stuff. And I'm going to show you how to change your life in ways you never thought you could change them. All right, this is Dr. David signing off. I'll see you in 15 minutes or so, give or take. Hey folks, Dr. David checking in. We're going to start in about 35 seconds or so, give or take. So now is your last chance. If you haven't used the potty, if you haven't got your consumables, and I don't mean your gummies or your other CBD products, don't get me started on that stuff. We're going to get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Secrets of Personal Transformation. I'm your ever so delightful, often deranged, and electrifyingly eccentric Dr. David checking in. And if I seem a little hyper, it's because I just got done doing some serious power meditations and 8-balling a Monster energy drink. Well, I'll let you figure out which one of those is actually the truth. But welcome to Secrets of Personality Transformation. This is a variation of one of our most popular and most powerful trainings, which is basically about reprogramming the subconscious mind. Tonight's training is going to focus a little bit differently than some of our usual tracks, although there will be a lot of the same material covered. And it's going to focus, we're going to drill down on beliefs and the structure of beliefs, how to change them, how they form the foundation of everything that we experience, and what you can begin to do to start transforming and changing all the things that beliefs touch and mitigate, which is pretty much everything. You know, when I first started, back in, I've been a lifelong self-help person. I mean, that's kind of where we all got started, right? We all want to be the best version of ourselves. We got things we want to overcome. And people would always tell me, you got to change your beliefs. You got to change your beliefs. You got to change your beliefs. And I would always ask how. And the next thing they'd want to do is sell me a course and to supposedly change my limiting beliefs. And one of the problems is a lot of times is not every approach works for everybody else. And so I started becoming very, very frustrated with a lot of the programs out there on the market on how to change beliefs. But before I could really learn how to change beliefs, I had to really start to dig down and figure out what are beliefs exactly? How do they get built? Where do they get built? Is there a formula for beliefs, right? Why, if changing beliefs was so simple, why aren't we all doing it? Right. And so I made some discoveries along the way that have helped me a lot. And I want to share some of those with you tonight. Now, some of you know my story, some of you don't. I grew up your classic bullied kid. You all know who I'm talking, the kind of person I'm talking about. When they're born, like the idea of personal hygiene was an idea rather than a way of life. Social skills, what were those, right? And if there was somebody that got picked last, got bullied, taken advantage of, was the brunt of the jokes, picked on the bus, that was this guy. Okay, I don't have a lot of that's changed a bit, but back in those, I didn't have a lot of pleasant memories growing up where I was growing up. And so at a very early age, I became quite literally obsessed with being better for a number of reasons. One is that I just didn't feel good about who I was. I knew that there were things I wanted that I didn't have the skills to get. Or if I had the skills to get them, I was underperforming. I wasn't able to just level myself up to where I needed or wanted to be. And of course, one of the things we'll talk about as we get deeper into the belief transformation and the belief, what I call the belief cycle, what we call the acceptance, rejection, projection, connection, is that your perceptions of the world around you and your place in it are dramatically influenced by the belief systems that you hold. Consequently and conversely, your beliefs are also influenced by the perceptions that you experience. So there's this little feedback loop, this little set of cycles that are operational at every level of a human being's experience. And without an understanding of how these cycles work, how they come into being, and how to interrupt them and change them, we're often at the mercy of the upbringing we've been given. Not because we don't have the ability to change, it's because nobody showed us where in our system those hidden switches and passwords and dashboards are located. Tonight's all about getting the username and password to log into the back end of your own neurology, to use metaphor, to use username. This is something we're all familiar with. One of the reasons that we have such a hard time changing those beliefs that cause us to sabotage ourselves, to hold ourselves back, to speak when we shouldn't be speaking, to not speak when we know we should, to do the things we know we need, to not do the things we know we shouldn't do, or to do the things we know we need to do, right? Those are basically the foundations of everything that holds us back. Our fears, our worries, our anxieties, they all have a structure and they all are stored at different places in our body. But if you don't understand, just like logging into your blog or your website or your Facebook account, you can make all kinds of changes cosmetically to the surface of that web page. But if you can't log into the back end with a username and password, you have no true power to influence anything on that web page or that website, right? Other than what's been okayed for you to input. Like when you have a form, you can fill in your name and email, but that's all you can do, except click the send button, right? So tonight, a lot of what we're going to share with you, you've heard before. I'll tell you that right now. Many of the things that you've heard before, you've heard before, but we're going to think about it. We're going to come at it from a slightly different perspective in terms of how do we actually log into our own back end, not that one, although some people think out of it, but more or less, how do we log in to our own nervous system and begin to make actual changes that will stick, right? So tonight, first of all, I know you're going to have questions. And that's fine. I love questions. There's 3 ways you can get your questions answered tonight. The first one, type it in the chat. I'm monitoring 2 chats right now. Much love to our folks out in YouTube land. Much love to our Zoom contingent here. Let me just go ahead with my personal disclaimers before I tell you about the answering questions part. If politically incorrect language, colorful metaphors, swearing, or the word boobies offends you, this is probably not the best use of your next 2 to 3 hours, right? When we teach classes like this, we teach them in 3 phases. We call it a free-form webinar. The first phase is all foundations. Think principles and techniques and skills that you absolutely need to know and have to be able to utilize what we're going to teach you in phase 3, which is all about application. Everything we're doing in this 3-phase webinar, remember phase 1 is foundations, phase 3 is application. So David, what's in the middle? Well, I'm glad you asked. Phase 2 is all about leveling up. Packages and programs and offers we've made available for you to take the foundations and the principles that you're going to be learning today and get the complete system, get the full package where you have everything you need, all the tools that are available that's humanly possible to make transformation and get the life you want the way that you want it. Phase 1 usually runs anywhere from 55 to 75 minutes, right? Depending on how fast or how rapidly we move through that material. Then we're going to transition into phase 2, right? Which lasts about 35 or 40 minutes. And then we're going to circle back to phase 3, which is all about applications, the specific things you as a group want to target tonight, right? Remember, if this is the scope of everything that there is to learn, you know, in the field of belief change and personal transformation, even with a 3 or 4 hour webinar, I've got time for this much. So my commitment to you is this. I will take you as far as I can tonight in the time that we have. I will give you as many experiences and as much actionable, user-friendly, transformational content that I can. And then I will point you in the direction of where to go to level it up and take it even further. Is that fair? Is that a fair trade? If you think that's fair, type that in the chat. Excellent, excellent. Thank you for that. Okay, so like I said, I am a teacher who thrives on feedback. I thrives on interactiveness. So I do have a PowerPoint. I do have OneNote. I do have all kinds of notes here that we're going to be bouncing back and forth with. But I'll tell you up front, I would much rather look you in the eye than put a PowerPoint or something on the screen. So I will try to minimize that. But there are things that I think PowerPoint helps us keep structure. So if you're brand new to Planet David, I want you to go ahead and type your name, where you're checking in from, and first time in the chat. Go ahead and do that now. If you're a veteran of Planet David, type your name, where you're checking in from, and how long you've been in Planet David. Okay, those of you who are veterans, I'm going to be calling on you because you guys are my witnesses. You guys are the ones that have taken this material, gone out into the world, applied the skills to your life, and gotten a result. So if you see a question that I miss, this is the second way to get your question answered. If one of the new folks asks a question and I miss it, or I don't answer it because it's not relevant to the part of the webinar that we're on, but you have direct experience answering that question, then please, by all means, private message that person and tell them your experience, because again, when a guy in a vest is standing up here talking about all these programs and all these things that he's made available to you and how great they are and how cool they are since sliced bread, it's naturally, yeah, right. Is it a pitch, or is he talking about the real deal? So what I want you guys to do is I want you to listen to the people who've lived the life. I want you to listen to the folks in the chat, the brothers and sisters just like you, who've been living with these tools and these technologies and applying them. Like, I don't know if you saw earlier, one gentleman went from making 30K a year to 185K a year just from a couple of techniques, right? A couple of well-placed techniques can mean the difference between a life of mediocrity and quiet desperation, as Thoreau liked to say, and a life where you get to be the person you've always wanted to be, right? It doesn't take a lot. It just takes two things. It takes identity. You need to have a sense of identity that can support the person you want to become. Okay, and we're going to talk a lot about identity because so much of this phenomena or principle of identity is based on the belief systems that we hold. The other thing is action, right? These are what we call the two most important ingredients to success. Okay, so that's where we're going to start. But before I do, I should probably, why am I qualified to stand up here, and really talk about these things? So if it's okay with you, I'm going to jump to my PowerPoint just so I can just move through this really, really quickly, because we do need to be a little bit more structured, I think, just to make sure that host disabled. Moss, can you please enable my screen sharing? Hold on a second. We're good? Okay, hold on a second. All right. So, by the way, you guys like my pretty new PowerPoint? I decided to change up the look a little bit. You guys like that? Okay, so this, I normally I don't do this. I mean, let me go back and just jump off my screen. But this is, I'm going to read this because this is one of the reasons why I dress weird and I do what I do. This is from Bonnie Boots. She says, Dr. Snyder, I am immensely grateful to you for so freely sharing knowledge. I have no experience in hypnosis or NLP or etc. I use simple techniques I learned from your YouTube videos to heal stage 4 colon cancer in just 3 months. My oncologist said she had no medical explanation for my healing. I know the explanation. It's you. Give me a minute. Thank you, Bonnie. And I will take the compliment and I will take some of the credit. But there's two other entities at play here. One is the big G, God himself, right? The other one is the most important one, and that's you. Maybe you learned the techniques from me. Maybe God said it was time for you to heal. But at the end of the day, you're the one who took the techniques and used them. So maybe it's me, but it's you. So God bless you, Bonnie. Thank you so much for sharing that. Please, please, please write me if you can, write me a little bit, write that up or just paste that and send it in an email to us, because people need to know what's really possible for themselves with these techniques. And again, I'm not going to pat myself on the back, but I spent 15 years, officially 15 years in private practice, treating physiological illness that was caused by repressed emotion. And stories like Bonnie's happened fairly often in my world. Why? Because every disease that we manifest has at its core a structure and a set of beliefs and emotional charges that are begging to be released. But because we don't know how to tap into those levels of mind and body, they're locked in a system that doesn't know they're there until it's too late. So if you've had an experience like Bonnie, and again, I'm so glad she's doing better, and I'm excited for what's ahead for Bonnie, because it's just the tip of the iceberg. But like I said before, this is one of the reasons why we put out so much free content, because I know realistically that as much as I I can help as many people who can come to you. A lot of you will never get to meet me face to face. I know that. And so certain techniques I was gifted with, I was gifted to get, not to keep them, but to give them to you. And so that's why I do it, right? When God gives you gifts, you're expected to use them. But I want to go back, and again, I'll close this loop, but that just hit me in the heart so strong that I had to recognize that. Let's see here. All right, so let's go back to our PowerPoint. So, wow, that was crazy. All right, so who is Dr. David Snyder and why should I care? First and foremost, I am an actual doctor of Chinese acupuncture and Oriental medicine. As you heard me talk about earlier, I spent over 15 years actually, but 15. I stopped counting at 15 when I started doing trainings full time. But I still see clients, so it's actually closer to 20 some years. Where my specialty was treating physiological illness that is caused by repressed emotion. So I was dealing with beliefs and the repercussions of beliefs all the time. For those of you who don't know, this is a copy of my diploma from Pacific College of Oriental Medicine. And I've also authored over, I'm currently ranked one of the top NLP trainers in the world by globalgurus.org. I've authored over 15 different programs on various forms of human influence, everything from advanced sales, persuasion, influence, attraction, dating, and romance techniques to therapeutic interventions, vibrational and energetic healing modalities, things of that nature. I'm very much a student of the mystic arts as well. And so what you see here is, this is from 2020 when I was named the #1 NLP trainer in the world by globalgurus.org. I've been in the #1 or #2 slots every year for the last 8 years. So I'm pretty sure it's 8. My math isn't always great. By the way, if at some point you see errors in math in something I say or in my PowerPoint, please don't embarrass me by pointing it out. Trust me, just message me in the background and we'll have it changed, okay? There's a reason I'm a hypnotist, because I don't do math, okay? So anyway, this is a letter from globalgurus.org. This is sent to us. We get one of these, actually, the past couple of years we've gotten this. It says, "Dear Dr. David, with great pleasure to announce that your training program, Killer Influence, has been chosen by global peers and ranked as the #1 best program in the world for NLP." Now, I'd like to say this was a one and done, but we've been ranked the #1 NLP training program for the last 4 years. And this is something that is, I don't even know how this is voted on until recently. But it's nice to see. And so some of the techniques that you're going to be learning from are drawn from this curriculum, which is one of the reasons why they get such powerful effects, right? As you can see, this is a copy of my Global Gurus ranking. This is NLP Power and Killer Influence as the #1 NLP program. I'm also a lifelong martial artist, as you can see here. I have I'm a 10th degree black belt in Ryukyu Kempo Karate, which is an art that specializes in attacking the pressure points and energy meridians of the body. I have a 4th degree black belt in Shaolin Kun Tao, 2nd degree black belt in Kosho Kempo Ryu, 1st degree black belt in Fang Ku Ryu. I'm also a certified instructor in many other martial arts. And as you can see, I have more Reiki healing or energy healing credentials than McDonald's sells hamburgers. In fact, I'm working on my 2nd doctorate right now in Taoist Chinese energetic medicine. I'm about halfway through that program. And so when I finish that and I've gotten access to all the different mystical trainings that I'm going through, you can expect a lot more stuff on advanced meditation practices, spiritual empowerment training, and other cool stuff like that. But this is who I am. Now, when you look at all the things that I'm talking about, the NLP and the hypnosis and the acupuncture and the energy work and the martial arts, you're like, okay, David, so are you like trying to impress me? No, I'm trying to impress upon you that there's beneath all the surface things that I've just mentioned, there's an underlying commonality. There's something these things all have in common. And that is this: state control and pattern recognition. Everything that human beings do, every behavior, every thought, every memory, everything they say has a structure to it. Okay. And if you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, you can identify those structures, you can identify those patterns. And if you understand how to control and manage your own emotional state, you gain the ability to manage and influence the emotional states of other people. And with that in hand, and with this pattern recognition skill that I'm talking about, you now have the ability to make powerful, simple changes that change the whole course of your life in a very, very fast and effective way. So what does this have to do with self-transformation? Pretty much everything. All right. So the next part of our class is going to be a little quiz. Are you in fact in the right place? So by a show of that's me in the chat, if you can answer yes to any of the following questions, you're here. You're in the right place. This is the right webinar for you. So how many of you would like to banish fear and insecurity from your life and radiate more confidence wherever you go? If that's for you, type that in the chat. Okay. How many of you would like to make more money from your job? Maybe start that business you've been wanting to start, right? Book more clients for your business, right? How would you like to protect yourself from being manipulated? Would that be useful? I'm going to show you how to do that. All right. What about having people thinking, feeling, and acting the way you want them to instead of the way they want to, right? Would you like to program yourself for massive financial or professional abundance, right? Sometimes people don't always consider abundance to be money. Some people think abundance is more about having freedom or about having security or about having the ability to do what you want when you want to do it, right? It's about being able to spend more time with the people you love in a way that's satisfying and fulfilling, right? So abundance means a lot of things to a lot of people, right? One of the things that we're going to talk about as we move through the content of tonight's webinar, and when you come to some of our advanced trainings and things like that, we're going to talk a lot about the power of words, the power of language, and how your nervous system communicates inside of itself, and how that internal communication from one part of your neurology in your mind to another impacts words that you use, which is about interpersonal communication, how you communicate with other people. Okay, so that's really what the core of NLP really is. It's the study of how your nervous system creates what you think is true, right? And once you understand that there is, in fact, a program, a structure, a system in place for doing that, and you get the username and password to open that back end and start making edits and changes, just like you would on a website or your Facebook page or whatever, your life starts to become much more controllable. You start to have more ability to decide how you want to perceive the world around you. And like I said before, your beliefs color your perceptions color your beliefs, and it just cycles that way. How many of you would like to surround yourself with true friends who have the same values, the same beliefs, who support you and inspire you and build you up when the rest of the world's trying to tear you down? If you answered yes, type it in the chat, right? How many of you would like to nail job interview after job interview after job interview? We have a gentleman right in the chat who has been doing that with the techniques. You're going to learn the fundamentals of how that works today, okay? Let's see. What did I not mention? Type it in the chat. If there's something I did not mention that you would like to take away as a byproduct from tonight's webinar, what would it be? Love, okay, Jack says. True friends, yes, sir. Chainsaw Erickson says. What did I miss from here? Let me see if it's on the agenda for the night. Show me what you got. Manifesting faster. Okay. That actually will happen as a byproduct of some of the things that we're doing. How to find the mission, the golden path. Okay. Okay. We can talk about that. Sure. Sal says ditto. Framework tips. Oh, okay. Yes, actually that will be part of it. There's a lot that, by the way, just Linus, there's a lot that goes into frameworks. The most important framework, for those of you, how many don't know what I'm talking about when I say the word frameworks? If you don't know, type it in the chat. It's okay. Okay. So think of it this way. In any given interaction, it's like a scene from a movie, right? There's a meaning to the context. There's a meaning to a person's social status and identity. And it's the meaning that we assign to things that determine how we respond to it. So the classic one is if I walk into a bar, right, and there's this hot young person standing here, and they're facing that way, and I'm this way, in that particular interaction, because the center of their body is facing away from me, they're less interested in me than I am in them, because the center of my body is facing them. So in this situation, in this context, these two people, this person, the person who cares least and has the power to say no, they're the dominant person. Because I want something from this person, I'm not the one who can say no, they are. And so this is what we call a framework, because when I enter into this interaction, if I keep those meanings the same, where the attractive person is the prize, the person who can say no to me, and I'm the seeker or the supplicant, I'm the one in the weak position. So anytime you get into a job interview, a networking function, a first date, a mediation, if you ever watched two boxers getting ready, and they're all in each other's face trying to psych each other out, these are all examples of a framework. What does that mean? Is it if I can control the meaning that you assign to an interaction, then I control the frame, and the person who controls the frame controls the game. Okay, so what does that mean in terms of behaviors and beliefs and things like that? Certain behaviors are pre-programmed into you based on how you interpret the situation you're in. And so if I can change how you interpret the situation you're in, you will take on a completely different set of behaviors automatically. So when two people get together, how many people have ever seen a bunch of guys who've never met each other meet for the first time? Right? When I used to teach dating and attraction, I used to talk about this. I used to say, you ever see a bunch of guys get together for the first time, and it's like everybody's pulling out their you know what's and comparing the relative sizes of it, see who's got the bigger one, and it's organized chaos. Everybody's trying to outdo each other. Everybody's trying to one up each other until a pecking order is established, until an alpha is established, and then before you know it, everybody lines up in the hierarchy. Right? What you've just seen is a framework. Okay, and so this is happening to you all the time. Right? In fact, one of the things you need to understand, especially where belief systems are concerned, is that you're doing it to yourself all the time. If you can learn how to change, how to win the frame war in your mind, it becomes extremely difficult for other people to steal your personal power. Does that make sense? If you're with me, go ahead. Okay, very good. All right, cool. All right, so here's what we're going to do tonight. Now, again, I know some of you are brand new to Planet David. Some of you have been around for a while. This webinar is a bit different than a lot of the other webinars that we've ever done. So you're going to want to stay. Trust me when I say this, you're going to want to stay till the very end of tonight's webinar. Okay? I have some super special holiday surprises for you I've never done before. When I sent these, I just came up with these changes literally like 2 hours or 3 hours before the webinar, and I got nothing but hate texts from my support staff because I had to change the offer at the last minute. Saul says, will there be gingerbread cookies? There will be cookies. But I do promise you this. If you stay with me until the end of tonight's webinar, okay, I'm going to teach you the fastest, most powerful, and direct way to reprogram your mind and body for unlimited health, wealth, success, and happiness. I'm going to teach you in a very, very powerful way how to put a dead stop halt to procrastination instantly, how to remove blocks to your success, how to get rid of negative emotions, fear, pain, and of course, limiting beliefs. All right. Finally, I'm going to give you the exact pathway to take, the exact path to getting everything you want. I'm going to show you the exact steps you need to take to go from interesting information to maximum transformation in minimum time. Is that fair? Does that sound like a good plan for tonight? Okay. Go ahead, show me. Okay. By the way, are no troll policies in effect? So if our moderators feel that you're behaving badly, you're going to get a timeout, then you're going to go bye-bye. So behave. Okay, so yay, baby. Perfect. All right. So where are we going to start? We're going to start by talking about, once again, the two most important factors to success. It's not what you think, or maybe it is, right? We're going to talk about the rules of the mind, the ones they didn't tell you about. We're going to touch on and go through very, very quickly body-centered energy psychology or psychotherapy. Okay. Programming your future, clearing your past. We're going to talk about that. We're going to show you finally how to take control. We're going to show you in very simple, clear, easy ways how to get the life you want the way that you want it, starting tonight. Okay, you guys ready to play? All right, let me go back to sharing my screen. Oops. So, oops, wait a minute. That's not working out the way I planned it. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about something called the identity by design process. Now, the techniques I'm going to share with you are drawn from this system. Obviously, we don't have time to go through the entire 7 stages, but this is something that you're going to have an opportunity to experience in many different ways going forward. This particular program starts with clearing the general negativity from your mind, the stuff you didn't even know you had. We're going to eliminate the safety rules, the secret lessons or secondary gain that people have for holding on to limiting beliefs. This is a very, very important piece of the belief puzzle. We're going to talk about default driver states. In other words, there are certain mind states or certain emotional states that lead you to perceive the world in much more successful, facilitating ways. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about internal dialogue. For those of you who don't know what I mean when I say internal dialogue, it's that little voice in your head that just said, what voice? Okay. Remember, each and every one of us, from the time we're knee-high to a grasshopper, maybe even smaller, is programmed with a voice. Now, that voice starts outside of us, and then as time goes on, we internalize it, and it becomes like this little running dialogue and commentary, and it especially fires up in situations that were traumatic for us in the past, and a lot of times it spews a lot of self-limiting dialogue, and it reinforces and reminds you of events in your past where you weren't quite successful. We're going to show you and talk to you about why it's important to change that voice, right? And we'll again, some of the things I have, if people want to focus on the internal dialogue part, we can do that on phase 3. What if you could systematically remove all the memories, the negative memories from your past, so that when you look back on the past, you'd only remember it in ways that made your life better? That's what phase 5 of the identity by design process does. And then we take this entire sequence of techniques, we compress them, and we install them, a la epigenetics and Bruce Lipton type installations, into the DNA before your very first memory. And then we actually teach you how to install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people who you want to be like, who you truly admire. This is called the identity by design process. It's something that I originally designed, believe it or not, for aspiring pickup artists. You know how sometimes you think you're looking for gold and you strike oil and it's even better? That was what this process was, because what I discovered was when I finally created this particular sequence of techniques and I started deploying it, the scope and the degree of change that it created in everyone I did it with was beyond what I'd originally created it for. It was one of those things where you think you've got a little firecracker, and all of a sudden you've got this Moab in terms of the change that it creates. And that's what the identity by design process became. It was so powerful, we had to take it into the clinic and use it, right? So the techniques you're going to learn from tonight, some of them form the building blocks of the techniques in this system. Others are drawn directly from the silo itself. You're going to become intimately familiar with some of these aspects tonight. If you want the whole system, I'll show you where to go to grab it, okay? But I wanted you to know that this is where the techniques you're going to be learning from are coming from, and it has a huge history of transforming people's lives. Okay, let's see here. Back to this. Okay, oops, that's not what I want. So let's jump right in. Let's talk about the 2 most important factors to success and why we need this. Okay. Let me see here. Can everybody see the screen okay? Yes or yes? Or no, the note slide. If people want, I can probably put a PDF together. It's kind of hard to get a nice PDF from OneNote files unless you've already organized them in advance? Okay, so let's talk about the number one factor for success. How many people here have ever heard of a guy named Nathaniel Branden or John Assaraf? Some of you might know both, some of you might know one. How many have heard of that particular gentleman? Okay. Pam says yes and yes to both. Good. All right. So one of the things that we need to understand, and if you've ever listened to Mr. Assaraf talking, he'll tell you, you can't out-earn your level of self-esteem. Okay. So one of the problems that we have when we start talking about self-concept, self-image, self-esteem, is that we don't know what those things actually mean. Right. So self-concept, self-image, and self-esteem, regardless of your definition, are all based on several things. They're based on life experience, they're based on ego extensions and social masks, and are all mediated by your belief systems. So if I, for example, have a belief that I don't deserve success, right? Maybe growing up, I was the poor kid on the block, and everyone around me had better clothes, they had their own little clique. They used to make fun of me, or they would just be mean. And maybe they were never actually directly mean to me, but they didn't reach their hand out to me either. Even though in my mind I can rationalize certain things, because of the vulnerability that we have when we're young, especially 0 to 5, we're just an open hard drive, and anything that we encounter goes right in unchallenged, and it becomes the standard by which we judge ourselves and the life we're supposed to have. You see, one of the things you need to understand about your neurology is that it doesn't sort by good or bad, not in the way you think. It sorts by what's familiar. Okay. So when we talk about the laws of the mind, we're going to talk about something called what I call the law of primacy. And the way the law of primacy works is whatever your unconscious mind accepts and was there first becomes the root and the standard by which everything else similar to it is measured, right? So for example, maybe you're a baby, right? And you're born into the world. And when you're born into that world, you're held, and when you cry, you're nurtured and you're cuddled. People say nice things to you. They make sure you're comfortable. They make sure you're always fed. They're saying nice things to you that make you feel good. Over a certain amount of time, those feelings, those environmental conditions, those behaviors are given a word that encompasses that whole complex. That word is usually love. Okay? And that makes sense. Let's flip the script a little bit, though. Person's born into a family. Parents are always working. They're getting dropped off at daycare. When they are home, kids barely paid attention to. You know, he's cried. He may have to cry for 20 minutes before he gets a bottle. Maybe the parents are arguing over the kid. I'm a drunk. You're a drunk. He's probably going to be a drunk. All that. You know, right? Sometimes you're ignored. Sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're held. Sometimes you're not. Right? Sometimes people are talking at you rather than to you. They're talking about you, but they're not talking to you. Right? You guys may have experienced some of these things, right? Remember, you don't have a concept of good or bad when you're a baby. What you have is familiar, unfamiliar. That's where it starts. Okay? Hold on to this concept because it's something that's going to explain a lot for us as we move forward. So sometimes the baby's held, sometimes it isn't, sometimes it's fed, sometimes its diapers are changed immediately, sometimes it has to wait 20 minutes, right? Over a certain amount of time, those behaviors get a word assigned to them as well. That word is also love. Now, I'm pretty sure I heard from across the country going, what? How many people have you met who every time they find a good person, blow it up? And the moment they find a loser, they're happy as a clam. Anybody? Okay. This is in Planet David. This is what we call a template issue. You have to remember, the unconscious mind sorts for what is familiar. Okay. So much of the relationships and the economic situations and the life directions that we take are templated between 0 to 5, sometimes 8 to 10. But usually 0 to 5 is where the most deep level imprinting is done. These are very, very deep level beliefs. And because they went in with no filters, they went in with nothing to neutralize them or mediate them, they take root and they become the standard that is measured as, get ready for this, normal. It's familiar. And so even though consciously up here at this level of your mind, you know better, the moment you get around people who match that lower, deeper template, it will pull you in that direction in spite of yourself. And if you happen to get into a relationship with somebody that you really, really like, that checks all the boxes that you say you want, but it doesn't match the boxes that were installed down here, you'll find a way to screw it up. Okay, so this is the concept of identity. Who are you? What are you about? Right? What do you believe you deserve? Do you believe you're good or not good person? Right? All of these things are at the identity level of a person's belief system. But what supports that belief system? It's values. Right? So are you guys with me so far, or am I kind of getting off into the ozone? Okay. And the reason I talk about this is because the two biggest factors to success in anything are both mitigated by beliefs. But if you don't have an identity that supports who you want to become, you need to work on becoming that person first. You understand? You need to make the changes that create and support the identity you want to have. Now, some people, they want to do it all in one big leap. God bless you. Most people need baby steps. Okay. Either way, you got to change that. Now we're going to circle back to the whole belief process in just a second, but I want to talk about the next most important thing when it comes to being successful. Okay. And it goes directly to beliefs again, and that's called action. You must, hold on a second. I got to fix my, okay. Let me go back to sharing my screen. You have to take action. And with action, so a lot of us, when we talk about, so some people are asking about, Saul says, leaps seem overwhelming. They can be. And we'll talk about why that is for some of us. Okay. And again, I'm going to teach you towards, in phase 3, I want to go through a quick technique for learning how to take the baby steps. Right? Because if you try to make a leap that's too far, too fast, your own neurology will fight against you. Okay, we're going to talk about that. But here's the thing. All altered states work, which is anything that's law of attraction, anything hypnosis, anything NLP related, any form of deep level meditation or personal transformation work, must be balanced with actions in the material world. Okay, how many of you often find yourself feeling less than confident? Anybody? Type it in the chat. How many of you here have ever read in the book that if you want to be successful, you got to be confident? Anybody? Okay. Take that book, throw it out, because it's a lie. Okay. Here's the catch-22 that a lot of well-meaning teachers in the self-help community propagate. They say if you're just confident and you do the right things, you'll be successful. Not so much. How many of you have ever been faced with a situation where something needed to get done, but you had absolutely zero ability or zero confidence in your ability to do it? Anybody? Anybody ever been faced with a situation where something had to be done? You had no confidence in your ability to do it, but you put on your big boy or big girl pants? You summoned up all of your relentlessness? Put one foot in front of the other, and you did it, and you succeeded. Anybody do that? All right, let me ask you a question. When did the confidence come? When did the confidence come? After. You see, if you wait to be confident before you act, if you wait for the right time or when everything's ready before you act, you won't. The game is rigged. Zig Ziglar, I was on a webinar the other day, and I love Zig Ziglar. If you don't know who he was, you should probably Google him and get everything that he ever put out, because he was a major influence on my life. But he said, if you're in your house and you need to get somewhere, and you wait until all the lights are green, you'll never leave your driveway. Okay? It's not about being confident. It's about being determined and taking a first step. It's about taking action. And this is one of the things that the really advanced people tell you over and over and over and over again, is if you want to be confident, you want to be successful, you got to take actions. Actions destroy fear. Actions destroy hesitancy and doubt. Okay? And I've fallen victim to this many times. Even as much as I know this and I teach this, every now and then I catch some of those programs that I didn't find earlier trying to sneak in, and I have to put on my Big David pants and fix that shit and then move forward. Right? How many people have ever watched some of my my early videos, like when I'm still wearing black and stuff like that? Anybody? Okay. You may notice in the early videos a bit of a change in me, aside from the fact that I gained some weight, lost some hair, got some extra wrinkles, right? But if you knew how many times I was standing in front of a room of people that I'd never met, about to teach something or share something or show something that I'd never done before, it would shock and disturb you. But because I learned how to control my state, because I learned that it wasn't about confidence, it was about relentless determination to move forward, I was able to step into a state of unstoppability and perform and create and learn. And as a byproduct of that training, as a byproduct of doing that, I became literally, in my world, a force of nature. Right? Because I trained myself to not worry about whether I was confident or not. You see the objective, you see the goal, you start moving. And I want to encourage all of you, now don't do it stupidly, but when you see something that you know you really want, that you know will change your life, instead of waiting for everything to be perfect, take the actions. Okay? Now, but why don't people take actions? Why do they not act on the things that they know will change their life? Well, self-esteem and self-image are one. Do they feel like they deserve it? Right? The other one is skill sets. When I started really asking myself, what is it that really holds people back? I realized something, that people don't take action for two basic reasons. You guys ready? Got your pen and paper out? There's only really two reasons why people don't take action. They don't want to, or they don't want to. Yes, that was a joke, kind of. Are you paying attention? All right, so what does that actually mean? The question becomes, why? Why don't they want to take action moving towards something that they know will change their life? And that distills down to two basic reasons. It's either a mindset issue or a skill set issue. What does that mean? Okay, so here's how you diagnose this, if I can use that word. How do you know if something's a mindset issue? You're ready to do something. You've got all the ducks in a row. You know exactly what to do, when to do it, who to do it with. The resources are there. Everything is lined up, ready to go, and you can't pull the trigger. Or you find an excuse not to do it. Right? Or you make up an excuse, or you find fault with somebody, or you attack the people that you're trying to help, even though they're ready to go too. If you're doing any of those things, you have a mindset issue. There's a program running, a belief or a memory or an experience or a trauma running below the threshold of conscious awareness, a rule that your neurology's put in place that says, hey, you can't do this. You shouldn't be doing this. You're not allowed to do this. Okay, that's a mindset issue. If everything is there, it's lined up, and you have the time, the place, the people, but you're still not doing it. Mindset. But let's say you have more excitement, aggressive, you have all this energy, you're ready to go, right? You got the gun, you got the bullets, and you have no idea where to point it. That's a skill set, right? Or maybe you have the gun, but you don't have the bullets, or you have the bullets, but you don't have the gun. Again, I'm using a martial metaphor, but I think you get the idea. That's a skill set issue. Skill set issues are really easy to fix. You just find somebody, and again, this is something I learned from a webinar I was on watching today. It's not focusing on the what, focus on the who. Who has this problem? And who solved, or I have this problem, who has solved it? Where do I go? I go to them to solve the problem, right? So those are skill set issues, right? So there's two reasons people don't take action. There's either a mindset going on, there's a fear, there's a self-limiting belief, a self-sabotage program, a self-esteem issue, or they just don't know what they don't know. They know there's something missing. They don't know where to point that energy or where to point that focus, right? Now, sometimes one of the things we need to talk about, we're going to talk about beliefs again. We have two sets of beliefs, okay? There's beliefs we know about and beliefs we don't. And that's the problem a lot of times, is because many times when we're trying to take action, we can't pull that trigger and we don't know why. And that's where tonight's webinar is going to come in, because we're going to show you how to find the beliefs you didn't know you had so you can start to change them. Okay. Well, so I was saying, what if it's a bit of both? And that's actually what's true for most people. What you'll find is that most people have a mixture. But and this is where things get a little bit insidious. If you've got mindset issues running below the surface, your neurology will generate all kinds of BS internal dialogue to keep you from taking action, to keep you the same, because any movement towards the things you say you want means you're no longer going to be this person. And remember that your unconscious mind sorts for what's familiar. So if you're familiar with being miserable and broke and unhappy, that's what you're used to, right? But it's safe as far as your neurology is concerned, because it doesn't have any ambiguity. It's like the devil you know versus the devil you don't, right? And so what will happen many times is it will start to generate BS internal dialogue. Things like, maybe this is true for you. You're presented with an opportunity or something you want, and the first thing that happens up is, oh, I can't afford it, right? But you're ready to buy the brand new iPhone next week, right? Or you're ready to take that Hawaiian vacation, but the chance to change your life is right in front of you for half the price, and you choose something else. That's a deservingness issue. That's a priority issue, okay? You see an opportunity, and the first thing out of your mouth says, oh, it's not worth it. You're salivating for the opportunity. You're salivating to take the action. You know it's going to take your life to a next level, and now all of a sudden, it's not worth it. Anytime you hear that little voice in your head saying, it's not worth it, and you have that need to breathe kind of an energy for it, the translation for that is that little voice is actually saying, I'm not worth it. You're not worth it. Okay. So when you hear that voice that says it's not worth it, it's not worth the time, it's not worth the money, it's not worth the effort, it's a trick. It's a trick created by your other than conscious mind, your neurology, your old self, designed to keep you the same. Right? And if you believe that voice, you will do what you've always done, and you'll have what you've always gotten, which I assume is not the thing you say you want. Would that be true or not true? Okay. The reason I can talk about this is because I've had every single one of these multiple times, and I was a victim of them for years. And every now and then I catch those motherfuckers trying to sneak back. Okay. Let me give you a few others, just so you're presented with an opportunity. And then I ran headlong into this one. And it's too much work. Or I'm too old to do X. I'm too old to have X. All right. That little doctorate in front of my name, I didn't start it till I was 54 years old. I didn't start my doctorate program until I was 54 years old. I didn't get to college till I was 30, 34, 35, something like that. Okay. Because I listened to the voices and I let them believe that they knew what I wanted and that they knew what was best for me. I didn't know what I didn't know. Okay. So here's the deal. When you see a clear path to changing your life and any of those voices come up, it's a trick. It's a program running at the deep level of the unconscious, trying to keep you the same. Right? You can believe it or not. I don't really care if you believe it or not. That's how it works. But can we change those beliefs? Can we go in and just flip the script on it? The answer is in many cases, yes. And that's where we're going next. But I wanted you to be really, really clear that you have two sets of beliefs, beliefs that you know about and beliefs that you don't. There's two primary ingredients to success. The first one is an identity. One of my teachers, a brilliant lady by the name of Taylor Sinclair, shared something her mother told her. And that was this. She said, David, you can be or do or have anything you want in this world. You can. But first, you must be willing to become the person who can have that thing or for whom that thing can happen to. In the spiritual trainings and the law of attraction trainings that I'm going through, one of the things they keep coming back to, and for those of you who are law of attraction fans out there, you're going to love this and hate it at the same time. One of the things they keep telling me is that all the abilities, all the spiritual gifts that, if you're into psychic phenomena or clairvoyance and manifesting, you already have all these gifts. They're all actually a basic part of your birthright. But the layers of identity that you use to hide them are keeping you from accessing them. So if you want those skills and you want those abilities, it's very, very simple. All you've got to do is give up all the shit. They sum that up by saying nothing is free. What are you willing to do to be the person who can have those things? And sometimes that's an easy choice. Well, let me rephrase that. Sometimes it's a simple choice. But simple isn't always easy. Okay? So as we move forward into techniques and into the ways that we want to level up tonight, I want you to take these things that I'm saying to heart. I want you to focus in on what are the things that you're just, pardon my French, fucking sick of that are holding you back, that you want to get rid of. What are the things that you want as a byproduct of getting rid of those beliefs and changing those internal processes? And I want you to really lock into that. Okay? Because that's what I want you to do. As we start chipping away at these various systems, I want you to apply the techniques and the technologies that I'm going to be sharing with you to it. Okay. Now, remember, again, if this is the scope of everything there is in the full system, I got time for this, guys. But I'm really, really hoping that you take this opportunity to really work on some stuff and grab every opportunity to keep working on it. But remember, nothing is free. So for those of you who are into law of attraction, one of the reasons that some people can manifest stuff on a dime is because they came in with those channels open, but they have other karma they have to balance. The rest of us, we got to clear shit. We got to get out of our own way. We've got to remove the self-concepts and the identities that say we're not allowed to be or do or have something. We need to systematically peel those onion skins away so we get back to our true core self. And as you do that, you're going to become more empowered. You're going to see the world through new eyes and experience the world through a completely different neurology, alive with potentials and possibilities that were always around you, but because of the belief systems that you had and the identity level that you move through the world in, they were screened out from you. They were screened away from you. You have you have almost everything you need right now to make any change that you want. The one thing you don't have is someone to show you where to look. And that's why I'm here, right? So before we move on into the next phase, is there any questions about this? I could talk for hours and hours and hours on this, but I'll just take one or two questions and I'm going to move on. Thomas says, keep going, man. It's profound what you're sharing. Identity plus action, Courtney. Identity plus action equals success. If you got those two things and you wrap it in a big bundle of relentlessness, you're going to be successful. I know a lot of geniuses living that are homeless. I know a lot of amazingly creative people who don't have two nickels to rub together and nobody takes them seriously. But I know some pretty mediocre people who have buttloads of relentlessness and they're millionaires. Okay? You got to have relentlessness, right? You guys remember that little 7-stage identity by design silo I showed you guys? Do you remember what stage 4 was? Default driver states. Default driver states, the first one we teach you and install in you that you have it on demand in infinite supply is relentlessness. Okay? We actually show you how to do that. Okay, Manfred's trying to pattern everybody in the chat room over there. So if you guys want to work a little bit on relentless, we can do that in part 3. All right. So remember I said state control? Most of us are moving through the world in shitty states that create perceptual filters in our mind that force us and cause us to focus on all the reasons why we can't do something. So the first thing I need to teach you to do is become more aware of what you're doing inside your mind. Oh, Guy is asking, what if you have no idea what the limitation is that is stopping you? The first thing you look at is, when does it manifest? In other words, when I'm about to do something, right? And I go to take action and I stop, what phase am I in? What's going on around me? What's the situation where that happens? Right? And is it the same every time I go to start? Okay, that's the first thing you look at. The next thing you look at, where in my body does the feeling I have when I stop, or when I let that limitation stop me, where does it come from? Where is it in my body? Right? And the moment you find that body feeling, you've just found the lock. All you need is the key. I'm about to give you the key. Okay? We good? Okay. So you have belief systems. Now, your beliefs have a hierarchy. At the highest apex in your neurology is what we call the spiritual belief system that you have. Directly below that is what we call the identity belief systems. So beliefs operate. The beliefs operate like a pyramid in a hierarchy. So spiritual beliefs, identity beliefs, values. Okay, let me just get. I want to give them all to you. I'll just show you the screen really quick. Is this useful? Yes or yes? Okay. So what you're seeing here is what is in NLP. This is known as logical levels of beliefs. Now, I divide beliefs in this pyramid into two categories. Beliefs you know about and beliefs you don't. Regardless of whether you know about it or you don't, this is the hierarchy. The beliefs at the top control the beliefs below. So it generalizes down. So if I have a belief that I'm holding at the identity level, it's going to influence my beliefs and my values. It's going to dramatically influence the capabilities I bring to any situation or circumstance. Okay. Remember, you guys were asking, why can't I start? It's because something up here is impacting something down here. The capabilities level is going to impact the behaviors I engage in, and that's triggered by my environment. Okay. How many people have ever noticed? How many of you have ever noticed that you're completely confident and capable in certain places, under certain situations and completely not in others. Anybody ever notice that? Like at work, you can be the Mondo Supremo head honcho. You go to a singles bar, and all of a sudden you're this shriveled up in a corner. Those are examples of environmental beliefs, beliefs about who you are and what you're capable of in that environment. Your environment is one of the most powerful success factors that exists. All right. In other webinars, we'll talk about why you can't out willpower your friends. Okay. All right. So one of the things you're going to notice as we go through some of the drills in part 1 of today's webinar is you're going to be feeling really, really good about certain things. But what you may also notice as we do some of these drills is that in the background, there's going to be some little icky, naggy, almost like an afterthought kind of negative feelings. Okay, so let's start with this. So I want you guys to think of something that you really, really want. Okay, something really you really, really want. And I want you to say it this way. I now have X because, and I want you to let your unconscious mind fill in the blank. So let's say that I'm 20 pounds overweight and I want to tap into my emotional energy and value resources to lose weight. I might say something like, I am now dropping 20 pounds because I now understand how important it is for me to look good when I see myself in the mirror. I am now dropping 20 pounds because I realized I was only eating because of emotional reasons, and those emotions no longer control me. I now am dropping 20 pounds because I like looking good naked, right? So the structure is I am now X because fill in the blank. We call that a yin formation statement. Now, I'm not going to get into the neuroscience of why this is so powerful. We're using this for a very special reason, okay? I want you guys to take a moment, write your yin formation in the chat so I can see it. And then I want you to stand up. I want you to scan your body, notice how you feel. And I want you to speak it out loud 7 times. Not 5, 7. To speak it out loud 7 times and notice what happens to your body. And when you're done with that, type done in the chat. Okay, JH says, I am now financially secure because I am worth it. Perfect, structurally correct. I am now building a scalable business because I have the right angle and mindset. Excellent. Come on, I know there's more of you out there. I am now a successful entrepreneur. It moved. Courtney, what does that mean? I am now a successful entrepreneur. It moved. What does that mean? Oh, let's see here. Sinat says, I now have a passionate and loyal band because I love what I do. Very good. MC Squared says, everything for me is happening now. Okay, MC, everything for me is happening now because fill in the blank. Courtney says, the place in the body, the spot moved. Yes, that's called body mapping. Heather says, I am now a master of language skills because I have taken action and joined this class. Excellent. Okay, so you got the basic structure. Zach says, I can achieve the relationship I want because I am the prize. Yes. All right. What you've just done is created a belief statement. Bonaru says, I am down 40 pounds because how I look, because of how I look in the mirror. Okay. I know I'm now able to walk or move in 12 hours a day because I can get good. The structure's correct. Might want to work on your wording a little bit just because it's a little, I feel good about myself because I'm worth it. Okay, very good. Now, there is so much neuroscience behind what you just did, but I want to ask you guys a question. Jesse says, I am happily married to a millionaire because, Jesse, you got to put the because in. The because is one of the most important pieces, and you got to fill in that blank. Todor Kola says, hi, Dr. David. Thank you for all the amazing things you have opened my eyes for. Greetings from Bulgaria. Greetings, Todor. I have a 7-figure salesman because I did the work. Very good. Okay. So remember, guys, the structure is very simple. I now, whatever it is you want, because fill in the blank. When you use this structure, it triggers your neurology to act upon it as if it's a true belief for you. Because you may, especially if you go with the first thing that comes up. I am now living my best life. Hold on a second. Can't read that. I'll wait for it to scroll. Because I finally changed my mind. Yes. Okay. You guys got the structure. Now stand up, take that sentence and say it out loud 7 times. 5 plus 2, 7. And then type in the chat what happened in your body. Guy says, I can do the finance because I have changed the location of the feeling. Okay. Very good. All right. When you've done it 7 times, type in the chat what happened. What happened in your body? I now own a G-Wagon because I'm rich as fuck. You guys having fun with this? Sarah says it reinforced the feeling. Excellent. Sinat says towards pleasure, energy moving, and more joy when saying it. Excellent. Jesse says gives me giggles. Now think about this. How often do you have to do an affirmation before you get even close to this level of energy? Okay. Okay. You think you might be a little bit more unstoppable and relentless with this going on in your body? You think taking those actions might be a little easier? Yes or yes? Jacqueline Hyder says, I felt grounded around. Yeah. Okay. Very good. How long did it take? How long did it take? Seconds. Seconds to overcome decades or lifetimes of hesitation, fear, whatever. Right? Why? Because you used the structure of belief that your nervous system is hardwired to operate from. All of the beliefs on that little pyramid I showed you right here, all of these, hold on a second. Oops. I'm trying to be cool. It's not working. All of these are built from the structure you just wrote. Doesn't matter if it's a spiritual belief or an environmental belief, they're all built the same. The only thing that's different is you either know about it or you don't. Does that make sense? You guys with me so far? Yes or yes? AP says, damn, you blew my mind. 25 seconds. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, here's my next question. When you were doing these 7 statements to yourself, how many of you were significantly aware of the good feelings? And of those of you who were significantly aware of the good feelings, or not, how many of you noticed in the background little icky feelings, little naggy feelings, or maybe a little pissy voice saying, yeah, you can't have that or whatever? Anybody notice that? Okay. Point to where in your body you feel it. The moment you point to where you feel it, You've just found a belief you didn't know you had. That's how you find the beliefs you don't know you have. You provoke them. You put yourself in situations and circumstances that are moving towards the things you want, and anything that's going to potentially get in the way, it's going to trigger. Why do you want to do that? So you can unpack it and attack it. You can't get rid of something you don't know is there. True or not true? Okay. Now, going forward, let's make a promise, little pinky swear to each other. Okay. From now on, going forward, whenever you experience that icky naggy feeling and the voices that go with it, the first thing you're going to do is use this magic mantra, STFU. Those who don't know what that is, I'll let you figure it out. You're going to make the decision to do the thing anyway, and you're going to blow out that belief. You're just going to dissolve it using one of the techniques you're going to learn tonight. Can we make that promise? Okay. All right. So from now on, anytime you fear any of that limiting belief shit, any of that hesitation, any of that fear comes up, fucking unpack and attack it, right? And create a belief statement like we just did that gives you what you want instead. Okay? We're nowhere near done yet. But was this helpful? Was this useful? Okay. That being said, remember all the things that you want. Remember the feeling about all the things you want to get rid of, all the things that are keeping you up, that are holding you back in any way. Are you guys ready to tackle that? Are you guys ready to be different so you can have something different? Okay. If that's true, then if it's okay with you, I'd like to share with you a set of programs I've put together and some opportunities that I've put together designed specifically for you to help you become the person who can have everything you want and get rid of all the shit you don't. Is that okay? All right. Let's do this. So for tonight and tonight only, if you're ready to take your life to the next level, with your permission, I'd like to talk to you about a very special package I've put together. Now, if you've seen this name before, I want to warn you first and foremost, this is a different package. This is not the same one exactly that you're used to seeing. This is a special holiday version. Stay tuned to the end of the webinar and I'll explain it all to you. Okay. This is the Ultra Mind Control Training for Success Home Study course, The Secrets of Personality Transformation Supercharger. And it's all about taking your life to the next level. It's about quickly helping yourself to earn more money, become more attractive, be successful in any field of endeavor that you think is important, to remove blocks to your success, become more confident, to help more people. One of the nice things about these skills is once you understand them, once you own them completely, you can share these things with the people you love and help them change their lives. You can use this with your kids, your spouse, your parents, your in-laws, your relatives, your clients. So many uses for this once you've fixed and helped yourself. I demand that you use these things on yourself first, and then you go out into the world and you show other people what's possible for them by passing these skills on. That's my charge for you, right? If you're interested in becoming more powerful, charming, charismatic, irresistible, they're all governed by your beliefs and by all the other programs running in your neurology. I'm going to show you how to change those once and for all. Here's what I put together. This offer is good today, December 12th, 2023, until 11:59 p.m. It's going to include the Secrets of Personality Transformation 14-video home study course. It includes complete instruction on all 7 stages of the identity by design process. How to remove and clear the unconsciously held negativity and the beliefs that you didn't know you had. It's a $297 value. How to remove the unconscious safety rules that are keeping you stuck. Remember when you went to do something and that voice said, oh, it's too much work, it's too expensive, it's not worth it, I'm too old, right? Or maybe you've been successful a couple of times in the past and you're ready to go for the third time's a charm, but you can't pull that trigger. It's because of number two, these safety rules. Your neurology made an arbitrary decision that this was too dangerous for you and you can't have it because you might get hurt again. And it's going to keep doing that until you choose to go in and change that program. It's going to keep you stuck unless you go in and remove those safety rules and reprocess that experience. We show you step by step in very simple, powerful, easy ways how to do that. It's a $297 value, but if you really do the math in your mind, physically, mentally, and emotionally, I think you can realize we've really undervalued what you're getting here. We're going to teach you how to remove the negative voices in your head, the ones that hold you back, the ones that tell you, oh, it's too much work, you don't deserve it, you're not good enough, so-and-so is better, you'll never be as good as such and such, right? It takes too long, it's too much money, all right? You can't do it, it doesn't work, all that crap. We're going to show you how to put the mute on that voice and actually put it in the recycle bin and replace it with a voice that builds you up and inspires you, motivates you, forgives you, and loves you no matter what. It's amazing. Every time we do this live and in person, there isn't a dry eye in the room. It's one of the most transformational experiences you can encounter. It's a $297 value. Then we're going to teach you, we're going to install in you the 4 pillars of personal power. There are 4 default driver states that human beings that lead to absolute success. 1 is relentless determination to succeed. The other 3 are playfulness, curiosity, and a sense of victory. If you have these default driver states operational in you all the time, you automatically experience the world through a lens of possibilities and inevitabilities that are always to the good. In other words, you will see the world as opportunities waiting to happen instead of potential fears and bad things or calamities and catastrophes. And even when you're faced with those potential catastrophes and calamities, you won't see them as extinction events anymore. You'll now see them as opportunities to rise to the top, to overcome that challenge, to become more than you ever thought you could be, because it's all about perspective. It's all, and your perspective is dramatically transmitted and changed by the body feelings you move through the world in. Okay, lots of neuroscience that supports this. We're going to show you one of the most powerful ways to super install these in you so you can be the person you want to be instead of the person the world programmed you to be without your permission and without your consent. We're going to teach you how to sanitize all the negative energy, all the negative feelings from your past memories and traumas, so that when you remember the past and you look back on the past, that shit can't bother you anymore. It's impossible for it to bother you anymore. And the energy has been drained out of it, and you only remember the past in ways that make your life better. Okay? There's a whole system of life navigation that is mediated and mitigated by your memories. And if you know how to change and alter those memories and the structure of those memories, you change and alter your internal GPS to take you to the proverbial promised land. Wherever it is you want to go, your neurology will get you there if you can just make the appropriate changes, right? It's a $297 value. We're going to install your personal success template into your genetic memory. What does that actually mean? It means we take the general negativity clearing, the safety rules process, the negative voices process, and the irresistible power for success processes. We call this gray room and magic frame and voice of authority and pillars of power. We take those 4 things and we install that in your genetic template at the DNA level before your very first memory. I'll give you a little influence technique for free. The most powerful place to install new programmings is before the memory ever had a chance to happen. We're going to guide you step by step for how to do that, so you automatically are come into this world equipped with all the resources you need to transform the experience. Okay? Then we're going to teach you how to take the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people that you admire, people who are good at things that you want to be good at, and install those in you through a process called deep trance identification. If you've ever heard of the alter ego effect or the Rykov effect, this is very similar to those processes where you take the templates of other people who are top performers in their field, and you install that like a little seed. And as you practice and you train, your body grows into that shape, and you begin to embody those skills and qualities and abilities for yourself at a much faster rate of speed than if you had just spent 30 years doing it on your own. It's really, really powerful. One of the things the Russians used to do is they would take music prodigies and they would put them in deep level trance and tell them that they were Mozart or Beethoven, right? And they would have these children practice the piano as Mozart or Beethoven, and their skill sets went off the charts. If you've ever been to a stage hypnosis show and you've seen people get up and start dancing like they're Elvis, right? You've seen deep trance identification and effect. You can use it for entertainment, or you can use it to become unstoppable in any way, shape, or form that you want by borrowing the genius of other people. If you remember earlier, I said that high achievers don't ask what, they ask who. If they come across a problem that they need to solve, they don't always ask, how do I fix this? They ask, who's already solved this? And they go see that person. This is one of the ways that you can do that. Because if there's a skill set that you want, that you covet, that you know would make a change in your life, if you have a rich enough sampling of that person, you can install a little program of that person, and it can become part of you in such a way that you can actually replicate and duplicate those skills and solve the problems that way. I've used this for many, many years. Right? If you've ever seen my video, Captain Jack the Hypnotist, it's on YouTube. You'll see me do a whole deep trance identification process with a client, a student, as Captain Jack Sparrow, right? Or doing my little persona that I created, right? It's very funny, but you'll see it. It's right there, right? You'll learn how to do that. Okay, we're going to give you the Real World Hypnosis Identity by Design course manual, which has a lot more stuff in it than what I'm talking about, and access to an online community with more than 210 active members. The total price for this it's actually priceless, but retail is $2,497. But remember, it's the holidays, and I don't just ever give one course because I believe in being comprehensive. I want you to have every skill set necessary to get the life you want the way that you want it. So if you grab your course today, I'm also going to include these special bonuses. The first one is the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study course. Now, in the first course I just talked about, it's all about working on yourself. It's all about changing you, changing your mind, changing your body, changing whatever you want about you. But what if you're a coach? What if you're a mentor? What if you're a strength coach or a life coach, a therapist of some kind, and you want to help your clients make these kind of changes? This is the course designed to help you monetize and expand your therapeutic applications and skill sets. These are the, and by the way, I don't normally talk about this, and honestly, I don't know why it ever occurred to me not to. But did you know that these techniques are used by the techniques I teach you in Identity by Design are all used in the Olympics? All the Olympic swimmers use these techniques. They learned it from my student, Joni Johnson-Nady, who credits so many of their wins and their successes with these techniques. Okay, I've never talked about that. I should, but Joni's a great student, and she's an amazing hypnotist, and this has been used in the Olympics for almost 6 or 7 years that I know of, maybe longer. So we're going to teach you how to unlock the power of your subconscious mind. You'll gain the ability to hypnotize anyone, anytime, anywhere, under any circumstance, for any reason. We'll teach you how to help your clients remove the blocks and limiting beliefs that they didn't even know they had, how to find and remove the hidden negativity that keeps sabotaging them, right? How to clean up issues that just don't seem to go away, or they go away and they come back, or maybe they start at a level 10 and then you work on it, you get it down to like a level 3 or 4 and it just doesn't go any further. We'll show you how to fix that so it goes all the way away, right? We'll teach you how to resolve the negativity from your client's past so when they look back on it, they can only remember it in ways that make their life better too. We'll teach you how to install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of the people you want, or the people your clients want. We'll teach you instant and rapid hypnotic inductions. We'll teach you a very powerful form of hypnotic regression called the gift that will absolutely change the lives of anyone you use it with. It's one of those techniques. The moment a person does it, they can't go back to being the same person ever again, right? So this is the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study course. It's a $1,497 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free because we want to round out your training, because we want you to have every single thing you need to be successful. And I know whether you've said it out loud or not, one of the things that almost always happens is once people finally get their own shit handled, they often become passionate about helping other people. And that's why that's another one of the reasons why we included this course in the package, because we want you to monetize these skills. We want you to not only get back your investment, we want you, if this is something you feel called to do, We want you to take these skills out into the world and get paid to help other people doing it. Right now, you can do it for free if you want to, but I demand that my hypnosis and NLP students get paid, right? Because you did the hard work, you learned the tree up skills, you deserve to be compensated for it. If that's something you want, this is the next step for you. Okay. Total combined value is, hold on a second. I think I got my math wrong on that one. Hold on a second. 2497 plus 1497. 3994. I'm sorry. Thank you, Seth. 3,994. I can't believe I made that mistake for so many years. Yeah, I know. Isn't it funny that I warned you about this early on? So as you can see, it's actually worth more than I'm talking about. I'm underselling what I'm talking about. Okay. So anyway, so just add that extra $1,000 value to that as we go forward. We're also going to include, because I know a lot of you are into manifestation, law of attraction, things of that nature. We're going to include one of my favorite programs. This is something that you don't need any prerequisites for, but if you have personality transformation and identity by design, you've got so much mojo to make this work. It's not even funny. So this is Hidden Laws of Attraction, Mind, Magic, and Manifestation Made Easy. Okay, it's a $1,497 value, and it's going to teach you how to systematically unlock the power of your subconscious mind, to find and remove the blocks to your manifestation of health, wealth, and happiness that you didn't even know you had. It's going to teach you how to become a money magnet. It's going to show you the limiting beliefs that many people who repel money, so to speak, have, and how you can begin to change those once and for all. We're going to teach you how to influence people remotely, starting with yourself, to find and remove hidden negativity, clear up the issues that just don't seem to go away. We're going to teach you, and you've actually experienced level 1 of this, the powerful new information method for programming your mind. We started the training today with that, to attract the things you want and change what you deserve, what you think you deserve. We're going to how to clear the negativity from your past, and probably one of the most important things, and this is actually one of the reasons why I'm really glad that this package includes the personality transformation training as well as identity by design, because Hidden Laws of Attraction is going to show you how to install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people who are naturally lucky. Did you know that naturally lucky people who have a nervous system that is primed to scan the environment for lucky factors or opportunities automatically and avoid anything bad, they have 5 psychological characteristics that they all have in common. You have them too, but it's the proportions and the activation level of activation and dominance in your system that determines how much luck you actually manifest. Once you understand how your nervous system begins the process of sorting for lucky experiences, you can now program yourself to become more lucky. It's really, really cool. Okay. You can discover the most powerful engine of personal transformation and manifestation ever. We call this the image cycling and color breathing technologies. These things are absolute game changers in terms of your ability to pull absolutely impossible things into your life and so much more. There's so much gold in this course that, again, if you're a law of attraction student, these are things you absolutely need to understand. And if you don't know them, this could be the very reason why your law of attraction skills and your law of attraction efforts aren't panning out the way you want. Total combined value, Steph said the total is now right. It's $5,491, but we're not done yet. Okay, like I said, I wanted this support program because it's the holidays, because I know what happens to people during the holidays, because I know that those New Year's resolutions are coming, but also, again, when people hit their emotional rock bottom, this is the time of year that happens, and I wanted to do something about it. Okay, we're going to include some this is something we don't normally include. This is our premier conversational persuasion and influence home study course. This is the Stealth CPI system, and it's going to teach you how to instantly hypnotize people in normal conversations, or to make everything you say irresistibly compelling, even when they know what you're doing. Okay, this will give you the opportunity to really charm people anytime, anywhere, for any reason, to emotionally bond and connect with anyone you meet at will, on demand, to control your emotional states and use them to influence other people whenever you need to. Okay, It's going to teach you the 7 most powerful neurologically active hypnotic language patterns that exist. You actually learned one today at the beginning of tonight's webinar. When I gave you that information statement, I was using one of these 7 patterns, okay? And you felt the effect of just that one pattern with that one sentence. What if you had 7 other patterns that were just as powerful, and each one had a special kind of magic? It did certain kinds of things in the nervous system that even when people knew you were doing it, didn't matter, right? When you use these on yourself, you can program yourself to be, do, or have anything you want. When you use them with other people, everything you say becomes a charismatic, fun, fulfilling, irresistible hypnotic experience that people just love. The best part about this system is it's 1000% ethical. You will never need to lie, cheat, steal, misrepresent, coerce, or condemn anything or anyone anytime. And if you do this right, people will actually eagerly do what you say and believe you what you say for their own reasons. This to me was a total, this program here and these 7 language patterns allowed me to go through my entire undergraduate education on writing scholarships. I was literally gifted scholarships to become the editor of the school newspaper. I was named to the Oklahoma All-State Academic Team. I was nominated as the president, regional president for Phi Theta Kappa, all during college because of these patterns, guys. I don't really talk about those, all the things this has let me do, because we'd be here forever. These patterns and this system that you have right in front of you is the how-to. It's the action part where you don't have the skill set. One of the big things I noticed with a lot of people was that they could do the mind programming and maybe they could take the physical actions, but when it came to communicating, when it came to actually talking to people about who they are and what they wanted them to do and to get them to say yes, they didn't have the skill sets. So I put this in here for the specific purpose of giving you the actual communication skills necessary to get people to want to do what you want them to do. Okay? So this is, think of this like the outer game, and everything I've talked about so far is the inner game. Right? It's a $1,950 value. I'm going to give this to you free, because it's the holidays, but I want to make sure that you have the mindset covered and you have the skill sets covered. Remember, I talked about there's 2 reasons people don't take action. They either don't want to because they don't know how to, or they don't want to because they got a head full of bad programs and limiting beliefs telling them they don't deserve it. It's too much work. It's too expensive. You can't afford to have it. Whatever reason. We're nailing both of those. That's the whole point behind this. Total combined value is $7,441, but we're not even close to done yet. Stay with me on this, okay? Renegade reframing. For those of you, remember at the beginning of tonight's webinar, we talked about frame wars and how anytime you interact with somebody, there's a meaning behind all the behaviors and who you are and what you represent, and the person who controls that frame controls the game. This is how you win any frame war, both inside your mind and outside of your mind. As a byproduct of this training, you will have 14 different techniques to change any belief in your mind, in your subject's mind, in your counterpart's mind. Think about this for a moment. What if for every excuse a client could come up with, you had 14 different ways to change that, to get them to say yes, to agree with you in an ethical, honest way? What if for every excuse you made not to do something, or came up a reason why you shouldn't do something or take action, you had 14 different ways to neutralize that and open up and tap into your own power and potential on demand? That's exactly what this program will do for you. Okay, it's taught in a fun, easy, game-like way. It's got sample templates so you can understand what the structure of these patterns do. In fact, in my coaching program, which we teach year-round, one of the first things we have people do is write down all the limiting beliefs they know about, and then as they're learning these patterns, they have to attack all of their beliefs with each of these patterns. And by the time they're done, their beliefs they're just completely changed. Their mind is so free and so open and so full of possibilities and workarounds and different ways of thinking about things, they can't go back to being the same person anymore. This is a superpower, okay? This allows you to overcome any objection. If people are picking on you, you can zing them. If people are trying to gaslight you, you can neutralize them in a second, right? If people are trying to give you reasons why you can't do something or why you should do something, you can change it all around. Okay. Lets you win any argument, change any belief in minutes, including your own. I love this course. It's so much fun. And it's one of the reasons that I included in this package, because it's all about changing you. Okay. It's a $1,950 value. We're going to give this to you free. Total combined value, hopefully my math is right, $9,391 if you register before the end of the webinar. Okay. So let's just review really quick what I've talked about. Secrets of Personality Transformations, 14 videos plus the manual teaches you the 7-stage identity by design process. It's a $2,497 value. It's going to come free, absolutely free. We're going to give you the real world hypnosis identity by design hypnotherapy certification home study course valued at $1,497. We're also going to give you the Hidden Laws of Attraction, Mind Magic, and Manifestation Masterclass valued at $1,497. We're going to include Stealth CPI Level 1, the Universal Persuasion Protocol, $1,950. And finally, we're going to put the cherry on the sundae, Renegade Reframing, how to overcome any objection or change any belief instantly. Total value, $1,950 value. We're going to give that to you absolutely free. Total combined value is $9,391 if you were to go to buy these individually on the website, which some of these, I don't even know if they're actually available right now. I think most of them are, but they're significantly more expensive. Okay, so, but it's the holidays, right? And I don't know if I'm going to ever offer this again, so pay close attention. Today, I want you to have zero excuses for making the change. I want you to have the best deal humanly possible. You're my family, you're my students. These things have changed my life. They continue to change my life. So you're not going to have to pay $9,391. Nay, nay, nay. We won't even drop it $63.47, right? We're not going to make you pay $53.47, right? We're not going to make you pay $33.47 or even $2,347. As you probably guessed, if not, hold on to your butts. You can get everything we've talked about and a whole lot more for one low installment of just $997. Or if you need a little help, you can break that up into 3 easy payments, 3 easy installments of just $397 each. All you got to do to get yours is go to www.nlppower.com/MIND. That's www.nlppower.com/MIND. I need you to click that link right now so you can reserve your spot. And I got some, and again, you trust me when I say you really want to click this link right now. Click it right now because there's some special goodies coming up that you don't want to miss out on. Okay. All right. And this is nothing like we've ever done before. So you might want to do that now. Okay. www. Now, if those voices are going off in your head, well, what if it's bullshit? What if it doesn't work? What if I can't do it? What if it takes too long? What if it's too much work? Give us 60 days, guys. Grab your course now. Click that link right here, right now. Use this course, follow the instructions the way we teach it to you for a full 60 days. If after 60 days, hell, if after 30 days, you're not quickly and rapidly removing the blocks to your success, you're on the fast track to creating and installing a wealth mindset, if you're not automatically becoming more magnetically attractive to the people and places and opportunities you want, if you're not manifesting the life of your dreams, or at least making significant progress towards it as a byproduct of this training, if you're not able to eliminate self-sabotage and fear, and you're not feeling more secure and confident and powerful, guys, I'll give you your money back, right? Because if this doesn't work, I don't want your investment. But I know this will work. I've seen it. I've watched it. I've been teaching people how to use this for decades. I've never seen it not work. Okay, and that's a big claim. Prove me wrong. Grab your course and try to fail. Follow the instructions exactly the way we do it and see what happens. If after 60 days you're not getting the results you want, if it's not as user-friendly, or we haven't been able to help you in the way that you need, I'll refund your money. You have absolutely zero risk. Absolutely zero risk here, okay? If I were selling dollars for nickels, how many would you buy, right? So just click that link right now, nlppower.com/MIND. www.nlppower.com/mind. And we'll go from there. Okay. All right. Lottie says, when does it start? Lottie, what do you mean by when does it start? Okay. If you have any questions, Mia and Moss are alive in the chat. You can reach both of them. You can reach Moss at 858. Let me put this in the chat for you guys. You can reach Moss at 858-282-4663. Put that in the chat for everybody. 858-282-4663. You can email them at moss@nlppower.com or mia@nlppower.com. Highly recommend that if you have any questions, you reach out to them directly. Now, before I go any further with this, I will tell you right up front that there's going to be a rush for this, okay? And you're gonna if you get the voicemail, you got to make sure that you leave your contact information, because if you call but you don't leave your contact information, and then when you call back tomorrow, you won't qualify for any of the bonuses that we're going to get, any of these bonuses. Okay, so now this is a good package, yes? Okay, so if you grab your course before December 12th, 2023, not 2022, that's another typo I missed. Okay, 11:59 p.m. tonight is when this offer ends. We're going to include these special, amazing fast action bonuses. Okay, now everything I just talked about is good until 11:59 p.m. tonight. What I'm about to talk about is only available until I log off the webinar. When I log off the webinar, everything I'm about to talk about goes away and it doesn't come back, maybe never. Okay, so again, there's two things you need to be successful. You need a sense of identity and you need to take action. Behavior that gets rewarded gets repeated. So for those of you who are ready to take action, I got some extra special goodies for you. Okay, first one is going to be the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group. This is where you go from interesting information to unstoppable, lasting transformation. This is a 3-month trial membership to the world's longest running hands-on mentoring program. It's literally, we get together on the 3rd Saturday of every month. I go around the room and I say, Lottie, what do you want to learn? Margaret, what do you want to learn? Carla, what do you want to learn? Seth, what do you want to learn? Mia, what do you want to learn? And I write it all on the board. Sign out, what do you want to learn, right? I look at where they all kind of meet. I create a lesson plan on the spot. And for the next 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours, I drill you on those skills until you can do them in your sleep. Okay? You will not get a certificate from the Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group. What you will get is something far more important. You will get skills. You will get a community of people just like you working on the exact things you want to work on in a fun, friendly, non-competitive, safe environment so you can level up, so you can take the skills from access to ownership. Remember, you can always make more money. In fact, when you use these programs, you will make more money. Try not to and notice what happens instead, right? That's easy, right? Paying, making the investment, that's the easy part. That gives you access to this information. But if you don't take the actions, if you don't show up, roll up your sleeves, have people to practice on, practice with, those skills never quite fully mature the way that you want them to. So what we're doing for each and every person who clicks this link right now, we're going to give you a 3-month trial membership to the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group. Every week, every month, on the 3rd Sunday of every month, we log in at 11 a.m. I go around the room, I figure out what you want, and I drill you guys on it. I'll be there virtually or real time. Many times we do stuff live. So if you're in the San Diego area or the Los Angeles area and you want to drive down, you're more than welcome to attend live and in person, right? Not only that, this program has been running for 13 years. We started this in October of 2010. My daughter was 8 months old, I think, when I started this. Okay. And we've been running it every month, month after month, ever since. We have videotaped every single one of those trainings, and we will make all of those recordings available to you as a byproduct of this training. In other words, not only will you get 3 months of hands-on training live, you'll be able to binge watch the entire 13-year archive for any skill set you want to learn more about. Everything from dating to law of attraction to trauma resolution to accelerated learning, memory enhancement, psychic skills, remote viewing, energy work, remote influence skills, body language. We even talk about sexuality from time to time, right? Advanced meditative practices, you name it. If it falls in my sphere of influence, there's probably a video on it, or 5 in the NLP Power archive. For the 3 months you're in the program, you get unfettered access to that 13-year archive. It's a $1,597 value. We're going to give this to you free because not only do we want you to have the information, we want you to have a community and an opportunity to actually practice and get feedback on your techniques. Okay? Total value is $10,988 according to Seth. I should probably have people check my math from now on. I apologize, guys. I keep undervaluing everything. All right. Next past action bonus. Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course. This is for the impatient people among us. This is for the people who, I don't want to spend 12 hours, 3 weeks to learn how to do this. I want to do it now. Well, then get this course. The Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course is designed specifically for you to download tonight, be hypnotizing people tomorrow, right? You just watch a few videos, you'll come and do the manuals and read the transcripts, and you'll automatically be able to go out and start using these things right away. There's videos on instant and rapid inductions, the 7 most powerful conversation hypnosis language patterns that exist, anchoring, criteria and values listation, which we call hypnotic hot buttons. I think there's a video in there on lie detection. And there's a whole 4 or 5 video set where I'm teaching a meetup on the language pattern, so you can actually see me in real time teaching other people how to do this. Okay. Total value is $11,985. Thank you, Seth. I got to go back and change all my PowerPoints now, right? This is a $997 value. We're going to give this to you free, guys. It comes with manuals, transcripts, audios, and a ton of videos. Okay. This is one of the most powerful programs I ever created. It's still popular years after I created it, and it's yours free just to give you a fast start. Okay. Finally, put a little question mark there. Fast action bonus number 3. For those of you who act right now, I'm going to gift you a free VIP Identity by Design super ticket. This ticket is going to give you free admission to 1 5-day Identity by Design hypnotherapy certification boot camp. This is a live event, folks. This is where you get to come in, sit in the front row, do the drills, and get the skills in real time. You come away with a certification you can take out into the world and put to use right away. It's 5 days in a room with me doing everything that I've just talked about. How to remove the negativity you didn't even know you had. How to remove the safety lessons that are keeping you stuck. How to install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people you admire. How to remove that limiting voice in your head that holds you back. How to dissolve all the negative energy from your past so that you feel good about yourself again. How to begin to install the traits, quality, and characteristics of people that you like. Instant and rapid inductions. Regression techniques, how to do a consult that results in 9 out of 10 people raising their hand to do business with you. It's a 30-minute process, and I rarely have it fail. And this is how I built my practice to a 6-month to a 8-month waiting list back in my clinical days. I'm going to teach it all to you in this course. It comes with a full manual and a whole lot of hands-on training. Okay, it's a $3,150 value. This training is scheduled for March 21st. Through the 25th, 2024, here in San Diego. If you want to know more information about it, you can go to nlppower.com/events. Total combined value, if you look at it now, is $14,225. I'm sure that's probably lower than it should be. And that's only as good as long as I'm on the webinar. Martina says, anyone got any image cycling tips for them? That for them. Okay, I'm not sure about the question. All right. So what do you think, guys? Is this a pretty good deal? What do you think? What would make it better besides being free, which is not? Susan says it's insane. Barbara says very good. Well, how about this? What if, I told you earlier that when you have a problem, average people ask how, smart people ask who. What would it be like if you could spend 3 days with me doing nothing but fixing your own shit under my guidance? In other words, this isn't a certain, what if you could just spend 3 days with me healing everything you want to change about yourself? What do you think? Get rid of your self-sabotage, get rid of your fears, your limiting beliefs, blocks to success. What if you and a select group of people were just working with me, guiding you step by step by step through every single process and a whole lot more? Because for the next 15 people who click that link right now, I'm going to give you this special surprise bonus. This is the Secrets of Self-Transformation Virtual Healing Retreat. This is 3 days. You log into a Zoom room with me. It's a group training, so there's going to be 15 to 20 of you. And for 3 days, all we're going to do, guys, is fix your shit. It's January 12th through the 14th here in, it'll be virtual, so it's from the comfort of your own home. So again, what if we could, step by step, meditations and psychoenergetic techniques for unlocking the power of your own mind and body. Okay? We're going to eliminate self-sabotage, heal your physical and emotional pain, remove the blocks and limiting beliefs you didn't even know you had, find and remove the hidden negativity in your past, clear up issues that just don't seem to go away, change that crappy voice inside your head, resolve negativity from your past, get in touch with your true self, and much, much more. This is us in a small group working through your stuff together. And it is my intention to work personally one-on-one with each and every one of these attendees at least one time throughout those 3 days. So we'll be doing a lot of things together as groups, but each and every one of you may have the opportunity to actually have me work on you and fix your shit. Now, why am I doing this? Because a lot of people just want help. And we need to give them that help. The holidays are one of the hardest times for people, both in terms of like getting ready for their New Year's resolutions, but also this is one of the times when all your emotional baggage just comes up. And this is my way of giving back. This is my way of saying, hey, I'm here if you need me. If you're willing to invest in yourself, I'm willing to invest in you too, right? See, I can't want this more than you do. So if you're ready to level up and you want my help to do it in a different way, now remember, this is not a certification program. Identity by Design will do that for you. This is a virtual healing retreat. So come in ready to work on your shit, okay? Whatever that is, right? And I'm going to teach you, when you come away from this program, I'm going to teach you how to keep the momentum going, how to work on yourself, how to train yourself, okay? But only for the next 15 people that do this. Click that link right now, okay? www.nlppower.com/MIND. Click the link right now if you want to be one of those 15 people, right? If you have questions about that, the 15 people who sign this right now, right? You're going to get a phone call. We're going to ask you some questions just to make sure that it's safe for you to do this, right? Most of the time there isn't a problem, but I want to make sure that this is something that can really help you. Okay. I've never done this before, and I reserve the right to never do this again. So click that link right now, because when I log off, it goes away, and it's only for the next 15 people that grab this. Now, if you've already clicked the link, you got it. You're in. Okay. If you already clicked that link, you got this. You didn't even know you were getting it. You're welcome. Now, if for some reason you can't make it, you want to gift that to somebody else, call us. We'll talk about it. Okay. So let me review what you're getting. Secrets of Personality Transformation, Ultra Mind Control Training Package, Secrets of Personality Transformation, plus the manual, $2,497. The Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study Course, valued at $1,497. The Stealth CPI Universal Persuasion Protocol, $1,950. We're going to give that to you free. You're going to get the Renegade Reframing, How to Overcome Limiting Beliefs and Overcome Objections in Seconds, $1,950 value. We're going to give that to you free. You're going to get the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program, valued at $1,597. We're going to give that to you free. You're going to get the Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course, $997 value, free. You're going to get that VIP Identity by Design Super Ticket. Now, once again, remember, our Super Tickets are pretty freaking cool. Okay. They don't expire. So if for some reason you can't make the event in March, pick up the phone, let us know. We'll move you to the next Identity by Design. If the training sells out and you have one of these tickets and you want to go, you just let us know. We'll find a seat for you. If we raise the price to that VIP ticket or future events and you have one of these tickets, you don't pay anything. You get in free no matter what we charge. If we raise it to $7,200 or $7,300, you'll still get in for that VIP ticket. If you want to gift that VIP ticket to somebody else because you think they could better use it than you, we'll use that. Okay. This ticket, you have it until you use it. It's like the golden ticket. Okay. So once again, the fastest, most powerful way to make these changes stick, to make them permanent, to own these skills, is to get live and do these things in real time, either me guiding you or as a group. Okay. So VIP ticket is awesome. And for those of you who are ready to make some serious changes, if you're ready for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years to be better than the last, click that link right now. Okay. It's a $2,497 value. You don't even have to travel. You can do this from Zoom, right from your own home. Just make sure you have chocolate, coffee, or some caffeinated beverage, something to write on and write with, and something to beat on, because there may be times when you actually have to vent some emotions. Okay. Okay. One other thing, if you see stuff here, if you want this package, right, but you have a lot of some of the stuff that's on it, call Moss or email Mia. Let them know. They'll reach out and they'll let you, as long as the price points are the same, they'll let you swap out and customize the package. All right. But you got to click the link right now. Right. If you want this, right. Again, I've never done this before. It's a test to see if it's something I like. And I may, if it works out, I may do this 2-3 times a year for people to get the help from me that they really need. But I reserve the right to never do this again. So if you're even a little bit interested, click this link right now. Click it, click it, click it. Save your seat for the Virtual Transformation Healing Summit. Okay. www.nlppower.com/mind. Click the link, click the link, click the link. I'm going to let you guys go ahead. It's a $16,722 package. You're going to get it for less than $1,000. $997 or 3 easy installments of $397 each. Click the link right now before it's too late. Okay, because when those 15 slots are gone, they're gone. When I log off the webinar, doesn't matter if those 15 slots are gone, they're gone. Okay, so that being said, it's 6:02 right now. I'm going to take a 7-minute break, let you guys finalize yourself, make whatever calls you need, ask whatever questions you need. When we come back, we're going to circle around and we're going to customize the rest of tonight's webinar. We're going to find out what you guys want to focus on for the rest of tonight's training. And we'll make sure that you come away with even more powerful skills that you can begin to use right away to change your life for the better. All right. So we'll see you at 6:10. Click the link right now, guys. Go do it. All right, guys, I got a couple minutes left on the break. So if you have any questions that I can answer for you, I'm happy to do that. Go to www. Click the link right now, guys. I know Mia's standing by. Okay. Don't let your limiting beliefs get in the way, folks. Remember what we talked about. What course? Natalie's asking me, what course would I recommend? Can you, Natalie, can you elaborate on that really quick? For dealing with grief? Dealing with grief, I would start with Secrets of Personality Transformation. If you're dealing with grief, then you definitely want to come to the healing intensive, because then I can walk you through specific processes that'll get that. Yeah, if you're, the first question I ask is, are you going to be working by yourself, or are you going to be working with a person or with another practitioner? I recommend all of you, if you're going to be doing self work, you start with Secrets of Personality Transformation. And the reason for that is because the entire program is designed for you to learn how to do this stuff to yourself, by yourself. Now, the difference between the Identity by Design course and the Personality Transformation course, even though there's a lot of overlap between them, but the focus, the emphasis is different. In Identity by Design, we're teaching you at a therapist level. In other words, we're teaching you how to go out into the world and be able to do this anytime, anywhere, under any circumstances, with a full complement of tools. Secrets of Personality Transformation is the same. It's the same training. In other words, if I were going to teach you to go out and do hypnosis on other people, the first 2 days of the training are exactly like that, just like the Identity by Design program. Day 3 is where we transition everything into self-directed trance work. In other words, how do I do all these things by myself, on myself, with a high degree of success? One of the problems that people have when they try to do self-programming, especially hypnotic programming, is they don't know how to, their brain is not focused and absorbed in the process. And one of the reasons is because they don't know what they don't know. They think they know what hypnosis feels like. They think they know what trance is like, but they don't. And because the expectation never matches the experience, they wind up invalidating a lot of the processes, right? So like when I was growing up and I was learning self-hypnosis, one of the things that I would do is I'd go out, and if there was something I wanted to work on, I'd buy a self-hypnosis tape. And I'd plug the tape in. This is back when we had cassettes and stuff like that, right? And I'd be there listening to the tape, and it'd be like, and you're getting sleepier and you're relaxing more and more and more. You can feel yourself just going deeper and deeper. And I'd be sitting there listening to this thing. Now, here's the thing you understand. You go into trance every 20 minutes anyway, right? So if the hypnotist talked longer than 20 minutes and he was halfway decent, you probably went into trance. The problem is that going into trance doesn't feel like anything, right? And so what happens is you're sitting there listening to this, and there's a part of your brain that's trying to have the experience, trying to follow the instructions. There's another part of your brain saying, is it working? I feel relaxed, but I don't feel hypnotized. I'm not sure this is working, but I'm relaxed, right? And so all these little voices, all these little parts of your neurology are having this conversation while you're listening to this hypnosis tape. Now, like I said before, if the guy doing the induction, even if they're reading a script, was halfway decent, you probably went into some level of trance. The problem is you didn't know it because you didn't know what trance was supposed to feel like, and it didn't match your expectation. But that's not even the worst part. The worst part is what are you doing in your head while you're in trance? Is this working? I don't think I'm hypnotized. I think this is bullshit. Right? You're rehearsing doubt in trance, right? That's the experience of the average person who learns tries to do self-hypnosis the old school way. So I decided many, many years ago, if I was going to teach people how to be good at self-hypnosis, I would teach them to be good hypnotists first, being the subject, being hypnotized many, many times, hypnotizing other people many, many times, and then showing them how to do that to themselves. Because once those pathways are locked in, then it's much easier to create any phenomena that you want, right? If you've ever done the energy spinning or color breathing or the magic frame, that's full-blown trance phenomena. But because you do it so easily, you don't realize you're in trance. But it's all trance, okay? And you'll understand the ins and outs of all that, mostly through identity by design, but a lot of it's covered also in personality transformation. So for people who are dealing with grief and those really heavy-duty emotions, and you're working by yourself, start with personality transformation, right? For those of you grabbing that package, remember, you're going to get to work with me. So you could almost think of the Healing Intensive like a review for the home study courses that you've done. And then when you do the certification in March, you're just going to be nuclear with these skills, okay? But for most of what you want to do, you want to start with Secrets of Personality Transformation, which is exactly the order that I gave them to you. So I know that was a little bit of a long, drawn-out explanation, but I wanted you to kind of understand the rationale behind the different courses, okay? Most people who come to Planet David are looking for a do-it-yourself solution. They're looking for things that they can do for themselves, by themselves. And we give you as many tools as we can for that. But there's going to be things that you just need a partner to handle, right? And so we give you ways to graduate and step up so you get the help that you need at whatever level you can afford or are willing to invest in yourself, right? Remember, your neurology is highly invested in making you stay the same. And it's going to generate all kinds of bullshit reasons why you shouldn't do something. Why? Because it wants to stay the same. It doesn't matter what your neocortex wants. If your autonomic nervous system has to choose between staying the same, which is safe, or something better, which is potentially not safe, right? So you have to have enough understanding and wherewithal to recognize those icky, nagging voices giving you all the reasons why you can't or shouldn't do something, and do something different, right? That's why I went through that whole speech, sort of, lesson really, at the beginning of the training, because those voices are always, first of all, there's always going to be a battle going on in your mind, and it's not your fault, okay? You have a system that's designed to process information, but you're constantly being bombarded by all of these other exterior agencies trying to make you feel bad, trying to make you feel bad about yourself so you'll take an action to fix it so you'll measure up. Advertising agencies, news agencies, governmental agencies are all trying to make you feel like shit so you'll perform and behave in a predictable manner. Part of the process of becoming a self-actualizing human being is becoming progressively more self-aware and changing and making different decisions when the same things come up, right? Does that make sense? I hope you're receiving this in the spirit for which it's intended. I'm not just talking to Natalie now, I'm talking to all of you, right? There will always be people trying to hold you back. There will always be people telling you all the reasons why you shouldn't do something. Remember, this is something I learned in my spirituality classes. When people do not want to change, they have to create an enemy, right? So you have to make yourself strong and healthy first, and then decide who's worth your time and energy to help them change to the degree that they want to do it. That being said, our break is now quite over. So you tell me, guys, what do you want to learn? What do you want to focus on? Logan Merrill says, yes, that make you feel like shit. It's military basic. Yeah. By tearing down and eroding your self-esteem and your self-worth and your self-image and your self-concept, you become increasingly more reliant on the approval of other people and their values. So you subvert your own beliefs and values to live up to this other person's expectations. The spiritual path, the path of self-actualization, is actually one where you become progressively more antisocial. My face reading teacher, Lillian Bridges, used to say, one of the aspects of an evolving spiritual person is the ability to do what's right for them in the face of overwhelming social pressures. Okay? So many times as you start to evolve, the things that you know are right for you will be directly contraindicated to the things your family wants for you, your religion wants for you, the government wants for you. And you have to develop that fortitude and strength to be your own person and walk your own path, right? And that's the work. That's why nothing is free. What are you willing to give up to be that person? Right? What are you willing to invest in yourself to be that person? It's not, and it's not, I'm going to tell you right up front, I'm going to be blatantly, transparently honest with you. It's not a one and done thing. This pattern is going to happen iteratively throughout your entire life because that's how you level up. You have to have the discernment to decide, okay, what's the right approach for me? Right? What's right for me? Right? And as you do that, you become the person. And it's never about the destination, it's about the process. Okay, so let's see here. Mental strength and internal protection, practical practice. Yes, very good. All right, so as a group, what do you guys want to spend the next 45 minutes or so on? What do you guys want to learn about? You want to resolve, you want to get over, you want to clear some shit, you want to add more persuasion mojo, you want to remove blocks to success, dissolve procrastination. Type in the chat the top 3 things you want to focus on for the rest of tonight's webinar, and I'll do my best to deliver that content for you. Go ahead and do that. Persuade, okay. What's the 3 days for the virtual? It's a healing intensive. I got the idea from Brent Baum many, many years ago. So let's see here. Word salad, self-persuasion, okay. Persuasion. You guys all want to persuade? Is that what this is about? Did our how to reprogram your subconscious mind become a persuasion seminar all of a sudden? Okay. To answer Matthew's question really quick, the virtual healing summit is 3 days, and it's just our small group with me guiding you through group processes, group trance work, group exercise designed to clear up your shit. This isn't where you're going to go out and do this with other people. This is specifically to help you get better, right? To heal. Value, execute. Okay, we're getting, so we have one for value. You all want to do persuasion. Well, so Susan, remember, you can break that up into installments, and it's $997, not $987. Right? Guys, if you need extra help, or if you have questions about payment plans, just call Moss. Right? If we can work out something for you, we will. Okay. All right. All right. Well, what I'm seeing a lot of is languaging. All right. You guys want to learn some language patterns? Would that help? Okay. So what we'll do is I will teach you a language pattern, and then I will use it in a transformation technique. So you have the experience of both. Would that be cool? So Robert Williamson raised his hand, but I don't see. Okay. Genius. All right. So, now I have 7 different. I have a lot of different patterns I could teach you. Tell you what. Let's do this. Let's learn one language installation pattern and one or two reframe patterns, so you can use them on limiting beliefs. Would that be cool? Okay. So you've already learned one pattern today. At the beginning of today's webinar, we talked about I now X because blank, right? That pattern is called the cause and effect pattern. Anytime you use the word because in a sentence, it triggers the belief processing system in the human mind. You notice I didn't say brain, because who we are is a combination of the brain and the mind. All beliefs are stated in cause and effect terms. So let me find my language patterns. May actually have to Pull up a different notebook. I was not expecting to teach language patterns today, of all things. All right, you know what? I'll just open up a new page and we'll start from scratch. Let me go to your screen. So we're going to talk about the cause and effect language pattern. So the first thing you need to understand is that what does this language pattern do? First thing, it mirrors the structure of internal belief. What does that mean? When people talk about the things they believe, they say it in cause and effect terms. So if I go up to somebody like Logan or Doreen or Chainsaw or Mia and I say, hey, tell me something you believe. And they say something like, I believe that your body, your choice. Okay. I look at them and I say, I use the magic word because, and they say, because I think people should have a right to do with their bodies what they want. Okay. So when I asked Mia what she or Mia or any of the people what they believe, they told me, my body, my choice. But she didn't tell me, she didn't give me the because. She didn't tell me why she believed that or he believed that. Right? When you have somebody says, I do X because, you now have what we call a full belief statement. When you speak to people in this structure, their neurology will process it with the same degree of certainty and matter-of-factness as a belief. Okay? That's the high-level understanding of this. Functionally, what it allows you to do, it allows you to make anything you want seem to cause anything you want in the mind of the subject. And here's the big one. Even if those things have absolutely nothing in common or to do with each other. You guys following me? With this one pattern, if I use it right, the person hearing it will automatically process whatever comes out of my mouth with the same degree of trust and certainty as something they believe. If I understand how to build these things effectively, I can take any two things that I want and link them together in a way that makes perfect sense to the neurology and can be completely BS. Okay? You guys want to play a little bit? As you begin to really understand the power of cause and effect, you're actually going to begin to be able to use these patterns better. And as you use these patterns better, you'll rapidly find yourself making all kinds of opportunities to use them. And that seems like a perfectly plausible idea, right? Type your answer in the chat. Sign out, went to sleep. Laura Thompson says yes. appears. Okay. So first of all, can you remember what I said? Word for word. Can you remember what I just said? The answer will be no. Why? Because one of the byproducts of this kind of language pattern training is anybody hearing them will have spontaneous amnesia for the exact words they use. But didn't what I say make perfect sense? Didn't it sound like, yeah, that's right? Didn't your brain go just, yeah? Right? But let me ask you a question. How does me saying and doing anything in tonight's webinar give you the ability to do anything? Now, that's right, it doesn't. But you didn't even think to question it until I challenged you on it, right? You just accepted it like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And that's all your brain cares about. It doesn't have to be true. It just has to be plausible. And that's the superpower of the cause and effect pattern, is that when you use it properly, your brain just goes, okay. And because and once we give you the structure of it, you can make anything you want seem to cause anything you want in the minds of your listener. Right? And because you question everything, Jack, you'll often miss the most important pieces that would happen if you simply stopped questioning and allowed yourself to just accept it wholeheartedly. And that makes sense, doesn't it? So as you find yourself just not questioning, you'll simply allow yourself to accept what you need to hear in a way that works for you. And that's just how it's supposed to be, right? How many people's eyes are crossing? Fair enough. Okay, so cause and effect. So let's do this a little bit just for fun. So words in this category: because, causes, allows, makes, triggers, makes, oh, I did that already, generates, creates. Okay, so there's many words in the cause and effect category. Stimulates, very good, Michael. So the idea here now is I want you to take these words and I want you to write 3 sentences for structure. In other words, just to get the structure. And the structure is going to be the blank pattern word, blank. So for example, the voice creates powerful meanings. Right? Structurally, it's correct. If you look at what we've done, the voice. Can you verify that there's a voice that you're hearing? Is it creating? Yes. What's it creating? Powerful meanings. So this is what we call a truism. So when you want to create very powerful language patterns, the first part of your statement should always be something that's true. Then you follow it with the pattern word and then what you want it to cause. So if I follow this basic idea, now for those of you who get this, when you get the Stealth CPI course, you'll see this structure written as X causes Y. X is always something that is true. Or what we like to say, a truism. Right? Your Y is always what we call a lead. In other words, it's something we want the person to do. Right? So I want you to just take this little group of words and just using this simple structure, I just want you to write out some patterns just for structure and post one or two of them in the chat. The Fed stimulates the economy. Very good, Michael. So Margaret's asking, is the hypnotherapy by design certification applicable to getting a license as a practitioner in MA? What's MA? I'm going to say no, but I don't know what MA is. So let me make this a little bit smaller so it fits on the page. Master of Arts, possibly. I don't know. I'm gonna go out here and say that the certification will be probably recognized by any other hypnosis organization or maybe even some NLP organizations. It's probably not going to be recognized for any kind of continuing education credits. Language patterns can intoxicate the mind. Yeah, that would work. License as a practitioner in what area? MAS Massachusetts. It's an honest question. Okay. Oh, language patterns can intoxicate the mind? Absolutely. You can get hypnotically drunk really quick on these patterns. You guys writing any? You guys typing up? You guys want to learn language patterns? Show me what you got. Told you this was not going to be a standard webinar. So Jax is saying, when you fix the beliefs that keep the negative feelings coming back, you'll automatically start to feel changing because you bear listening to me. Okay. I think I jumped into Susan's soliloquy there. You'll automatically start to feel better. Very good. Susan says, because you are listening to me speak, your brain is developing and changing. Very nice. All right. So for those of you who wanted to play word salad, if you want to get really good at just spewing these patterns, you could literally just start creating random sentences and put them in the form of a narrative. This is called word salad. So, for example, because you're understanding how to create and utilize this language pattern, it causes you to understand the power of your own language, allowing you to make very powerful, very direct suggestions that the nervous system absolutely has zero effect or 0% chance of resisting. And that's going to trigger people to think the way you want and behave and take the actions that generate the results you're looking for in life. And that's going to create more and more opportunities, generating even more skill and ability in yourself, triggering you to go on to bigger and better things, making your life even more fun and exciting, allowing you to experience everything you truly want to experience. And that will cause you to be really glad that you grabbed everything we were offering on this webinar, because you know it's time to change your life. Right? So the idea behind word salad is you take a random list of words in a specific category and you recalibrate your language centers. Okay? But you have to first understand the structure of what you're doing. So just to review on the language pattern side of things, okay? When I teach language patterns, there's a specific way that we teach them, and it's not by listening to them. If you try to learn language patterns by listening to them, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to go into a profound trance state and you're going to blank out. Okay? This is why it literally, when I was first doing this, it took me years to learn how to learn hypnotic language patterns. I probably had 2 years of false starts until I realized the magic to learning hypnotic language is to write hypnotic language, read hypnotic language, and speak hypnotic language, not listen to hypnotic language. Okay? So I said, that happens to me listening to the YouTube videos. Yep. Right? Because again, to me, these are life skills. These are things we should be using all the time to be the benefactors and the good guys, the good Jedi of the world. Okay? So, and again, for those of you who get the stealth, when you open your stealth CPI conversational hypnosis home study course, this training will be there and a whole lot more. Okay, so is this fun? Is this useful? Okay, good. All right. So just a quick reminder, because we're burning through time here. One of the things you got to watch out for when you start playing with language, you got to make sure you have lots of chocolate or anything with high levels of glucose in it, as well as caffeine, because you will go into a profound trance state. So the surf stimulates my power all day. All right. You guys are crazy. All right. You guys having fun though? You guys learning some stuff? Oh, Nick, it's absolutely true. That was, again, thank God for Kenrick that when I went through his Max Persuasion course many years ago. If it wasn't for the training I got from him, I would still be struggling today with the language patterns. Because of what he gave me, I was able to go so deep that it pervades everything. Okay, you guys are good. All right. So once again, for those of you, if you're on the fence and you want to fix some shit, you want my help to do it, the Healing Intensive is where you want to be. You got to click this link right now, because when I log off, it goes away. The whole package for the holidays goes Secrets of Personality Transformation, Ultra Mind Control Training Home Study Course, plus the manual, $2,497 value. The Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study Course, $1,497 value, absolutely free. We're going to give you the Hidden Laws of Attraction Manifestation Masterclass, $1,497 value. We're going to give that to you absolutely free. Hold on a second. We're also going to give you the Stealth CPI Universal Persuasion Protocol Basic Training, valued at $1,950 value. We're going to give that to you free. Renegade Reframing, how to overcome objections and change beliefs during normal conversations in seconds, $1,950 value. We're going to give that to you free. We're going to give you the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program, the 3-month trial, right? It's a $1,597 program. Okay, so Logan's asking, what if you have some of the courses in the packages? If you have some of the courses in the package, you need to give Mia or Moss a phone call. And what they will let you do is, if you can find other products in our catalog that are of equal or lesser value, we'll let you swap out the courses you already have, so you can customize the package so there's no duplication. That's something we always do when people have duplicates, okay? One thing I do want to remind you that this offer is for first-time buyers only. So we will still give you a discount if you've bought webinar packages in the past, but there will be a slight difference in the prices. Because what's been happening is people have been buying, they've been kind of hacking our system a little bit. So again, if you're a first-time buyer, this may never come again. If you've bought a webinar package before, you'll still get a discount, but it won't be quite as deep as the one we're offering here. Okay, so I'm just putting that out there because they keep telling me that I have to say that. And we do have checks and balances in place. People will be reaching out to talk to you. So. And if you have questions about whether you qualify or not, reach out to Moss at 858-282-4663. That's 858-282-4663. And welcome to Jamal Pitt, by the way, who became our newest gold member on the membership program. So the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program, $1,597 value. We're going to give that to you free. You're also going to get the Stealth Instant Conversation Hypnosis Crash Course, $997 value. And then the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Certification Super Ticket, $3,150 value. And then, again, the virtual self-transformation virtual healing intensive. It's $2,497 value. Again, these last 4 bonuses, the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program, the Stealth Instant Conversation Hypnosis Crash Course, the VIP Identity by Design, and the Self-Transformation Virtual Healing Intensive, they go away when I log off the webinar. There's only 15 of these tickets available anyway. So again, if you're on the fence, click the link right now, because when it's gone, it's gone. And I'm gonna devote my entire set of resources for those 3 days to the people who are ready to clear some shit. It's gonna get intense. So if you're serious about making change, click that link right now, www.nlppower.com/mind, www.nlppower.com/mind, http://www.nlppower.com/mind. Okay, click those links right now before it's too late, guys. Okay, let's go on to the next piece. So the next piece we're going to talk about is reframing. And one of the things that we need to understand about changing beliefs is that there's a structure. And if we change the structure of the belief, or we break apart the structure of the belief itself can't stand. So one of the things, one of my favorite reframes is called a redefine. A redefine, Lottie's asking, can I do it over the phone with Moss? Yes, call Moss at 858-282-4663. If you get the voicemail, because the phone's ringing off the hook down here. If you get the voicemail, leave your name, number, and contact information so that when we call you back, you will qualify for the bonuses. If you don't leave your contact information and you try to contact us tomorrow, you won't qualify for the bonuses. But if you can't get through and you do leave your contact information, that will count as you raising your hand and saying, I want this. Okay. Mia says you can also email her at mia@nlppower.com. I didn't answer your question about coffee and why it matters, because what happens is your brain goes into overwhelm and you start processing blood sugar and cortisol and all your other brain juices really, really fast. So you need to be able to maintain awareness while your brain is working at a higher rate of speed. Okay. Okay. So, oops, that didn't work out quite the way I planned it. Hold on a second. I managed to click out of my PowerPoint. Not that we really need it right now, but all right. So let's talk about reframing. So the first reframe I like to teach is called the redefine. The structure of a redefine, it's not X, it's Y. Right? So in order for us to really get the value of this, we have to understand that all beliefs are stated in cause and effect terms. Okay, so you remember I was talking about it's my body, my choice, right? So I'll simplify the belief and say, I believe people have the right to do what they want with their bodies. That would be the effect. In other words, when someone says, I believe people should have the right to do what they want with their bodies, that's the effect. That's the why statement. We don't know why they believe that. We need to elicit the cause, which is the X. So I would use the simple, I would actually just say because, and they would say because a person's body is their property. Okay, so if we were to look at this in X and Y, our X is because a person's body is their property, I believe people should have the right to do what they want with their body. So now I've elicited the X side of the belief, and I've elicited the Y side of the belief. And I can redefine the X or the Y or both. So here's an example. Let's say I'm going to apply a redefine, which is it's not X, it's Y. And I want to attack the X. We'll just go linearly. I want to attack the X part of their belief, the reason why they believe that they believe. So the person says, because a person's body is their property. And I could say, well, it's not that a person's body is their property. It's that a person's body is the property of God who gave it to them, and it's sacred. And therefore, this is why bodies shouldn't be desecrated that way. Or I could say, maybe it's not because the body is a person's property, but because it's about personal freedom. Right? So you see how I've taken their because and I've changed it to something else. And what you may notice is as I was saying that, your brain kind of went, oh yeah, that makes sense. Did anybody notice that? Yes or yes? Doreen says, I need chocolate. Yes, yes, you do, Doreen. But it's not that you need chocolate. It's that your brain needs blood sugar, and you're just thinking chocolate is the fastest, most desirable way to get that, right? And when you think about it like that, doesn't it just make sense to maybe find something a little healthier that might be better for you than the chocolate? Doreen is now smiling. So, Doreen, when I said that, what happened in your mind? See, Jax is like, yeah, black cat. See, now all of a sudden she's thinking about chocolate alternatives, right? But did I tell her she was wrong, or that she should? Did I make her feel wrong, or like an idiot, or like just beat her into rhetorical submission in any way? No, it was done in a very gentle, conversational. By the way, it's not just that. Maybe it's not X; it's actually Y. Could that be true? Yeah. So remember that every time somebody states a belief, there's two places you can attack. You can attack the reason they have the belief, or you can attack the belief itself. Lottie says, no, it felt cool and gentle, right? So I'm just going to tell you what we're going to do. So what we're going to do now is I just want, we'll just do two. I'm going to post some beliefs, and then I'll just throw out some reframes for you, and then we'll reverse it. I'll put out some beliefs, and then you do the reframe. So go ahead and type in, just type, Jax has had too much coffee tonight. Well, Jax, maybe it's not that you've had too much coffee. It's that you've got way too much energy for that coffee to compensate for, right? Or maybe it's not that you've had too much coffee, it's that you haven't had enough, because sometimes when you get really, really tired, you feel wired, even though your body's kind of needs more juice. Could that be true? Oh, crap, I need to go to the gym. Okay, so lucky one. Let's go for the X breakdown. Okay, we said that. How about some of my YouTubers? You guys got anything for me? Belief, juice is unhealthy. Okay, Saul, so juice is unhealthy because? Well, because sugar swells the brain. Well, maybe it's not that sugar swells the brain so much as some people just can't tolerate high degrees of juice. Maybe it's the fiber. Maybe it's some other thing that, unless the juice is fresh squeezed, right? Let's see here. Santa Claus isn't real. Well, it's not because. Why do you believe Santa Claus isn't real? Oh, Anthony Anderson asking, with reframing, would you give causes to back support? Oh, yes. Believe me, the reframe is actually the opening salvo. See, one of the things that happens when you hit somebody with a reframe, and I don't mean that metaphorically, although you can clobber people over the head, but what happens is it actually creates a pattern interrupt to their thought process. And in that cognitive space where they're having, like, you'll see a lot of times when you deploy this, people give you like this little double take, right? In that window, their brain goes into a momentary state of confusion that makes them hyper suggestible. So when you come in with the next part of the reframe, it goes in like, because it's usually stated in cause and effect terms, it goes in like a belief, and they just take that train of thought and follow it in that direction. It's really cool, right? So Saul's saying maybe it's not that Santa isn't real, but that Santa is a Yuletide state of mind and an act of giving. Well, maybe it's not that Santa isn't real. It's that he exists as an energetic presence that embodies us at certain times of the year, that causes us to behave in ways that are in harmony with that vibrational avatar. Maybe it's not that Santa is not real, it's that we've overlooked who Santa truly is. Right? Right? You can naturally have more fun with it. NKF, I don't know what that means. But do you see how did anything I say sound outlandish? And did you say like, oh yeah, that could be true? Right? And that's how you know a reframe is good. Right? Lottie feels merry. Okay, good. Well, that's a loaded statement. Darlene says, no, totally plausible. Yes, right? And again, there's 14 different patterns that you can do individually, but you can also stack them. Like some of the things you were asking, there was another pattern I wanted to use, but I wanted to stick specifically with the redefine pattern. To me, so many of the actual core 14 patterns are variations of the redefine that if you can really master the redefine, you've got a chunk of the others. This is quickly and naturally becoming my least favorite pattern now. Lucky One is asking, how can you redefine someone to feel safe or lucky? Okay, so Lucky One, give me a belief. Give me a belief statement that implies someone's not feeling safe or lucky. Okay. Now remember, everything I'm teaching you is in your program. In the package we're offering, I'm just giving you little sample platters of what's in the full package, right? There's 14 different ways to do this. So I'm waiting for Lucky to give me his belief statement so I can show. Oh wait, it wasn't Lucky. It was it was Lucky. Can you redefine someone to feel safe? So let's say someone's like, I don't like to go out because it just doesn't feel safe. Well, maybe it's not that it's going out that's the problem. Maybe it's just the people you're going out with, right? Or it's not going out that's the problem. It's how you're thinking about it that's the problem. And if you think about it differently, you'll feel differently, and that'll make things a lot more safe for you, right? Okay. So Lucky One's saying, I feel unlucky sometimes when I try to take an action and it doesn't go my way. Well, maybe it's not that you're being unlucky because it's not going your way, but you're actually becoming luckier because that smaller, insignificant run of bad luck is saving you from something bigger. Like one time I was talking to one of my colleagues the other day, and he was talking about the worst day he ever had. He was supposed to get on this flight to this really important meeting, and everything bad happened, and he wound up missing his flight, and he was so upset. And he got home and he turned on the news and he found out that the plane he was supposed to be on crashed. And if he'd have been on that plane, he'd have been killed. So a lot of times we think that, what seems to be unlucky is unlucky when in reality it's saving us from something worse. So maybe it's not that you're unlucky, it's that God has a higher plan for you. Does that make sense? It's so weird just sitting here waiting for the chat to. Lucky One says, yeah, thank you. Right? Right. But do you see now how the moment you have the redefine, now you have an opportunity to build an entire frame and an entire story that's a different spin or perspective on the thinking process the person, and you can do this to yourself, right? This is one of the most powerful things you can do. When I have my persuasion students are learning this, the first person they use this on is themselves, right? So if you liked even a little bit of what we've just done, click that link right now, get yourself into the Healing Intensive, get access to the Renegade Reframing course, get access to the Stealth CPI Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course, and the full 3-day training. and really start making the changes, right? This is again, who would you never try this pattern on? I don't think there isn't anybody I wouldn't try this pattern on if it was appropriate to do so. So Natalie Sullivan says, thank you, David, 257 UK. God bless you, Natalie. God bless you. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'm glad I hope you're joining us. All right. So now, before we go, I got a couple minutes. So let me just remind you, this is the second to last call for this. So, oops. Don't mind me. I have to scroll through my PowerPoint because I jumped out of it. Okay. So once again, for those of you on the fence, Secrets of Personality Transformation, Ultimate Mind Control Training Home Study Course. It's a $2,497 value. If you want to program yourself and transform yourself by yourself, that's where you go. If you're ready to monetize those skills and step up and out into the world and make money doing these skills, the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study Courses, $1,497 value. Hidden Laws of Attraction, Manifestation Mastery Home Study Course, $1,497 value. We're going to give that to you free. The Stealth CPI Universal Persuasion Protocol, $1,950 value. We're going to give that to you free. Renegade Reframing, Overcoming Objections and Conversational Belief Change, $1,950 value. We're going to give that to you free. You're going to get through my mentoring program, $1,597 value. Hands-on trial membership. Again, we're going to give it to you free. Stealth Instant Conversation Hypnosis Crash Course, $997 value, free. We're going to give you the VIP super ticket to the Identity by Design 5-day hypnotherapy certification in March 2024. They're $3,150 value. We're going to give that to you free. And finally, you're going to get the opportunity to spend 3 days with me in a small group, fixing all the shit that's been holding you back for all the right reasons, for all the wrong reasons, and getting right with the world. It's a $2,497 value. You can attend from the privacy of your own home. It's a small group. It goes away when I log off the webinar. Total package value for tonight and tonight only, $16,722 value. You can get it all for one low installment of $997. All you got to do to get yours is click that link at the lower part of your screen, www.nlppower.com. Click the link, click the link, click the link, because this could be the one and only time you get a chance to get in a room. And by the way, just to give you some perspective, if you wanted a private session with me, you can ask Moss. It's $3,000 for a private session with me. Okay. So if you want to work with me, this is how you do it. Okay. So click that link right now, www.nlppower.com/mind. All right. Let's look at your, Anthony Anderson says, I am developing the skills to better myself and those I encounter, allowing for fun, pleasurable events to happen everywhere I go. Perfect. I don't know why you're saying that, Anthony, but I'm glad. What are the email addresses for questions? If you have questions, you can email Mia at nlppower.com or Moss at nlppower.com. Yeah. So the phone number, again, right now the phones are pretty full, but Mia is available by email. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do now. I want you to give me a reframe. I'm going to speak a reframe out. And what I'll do is I'll share my screen and I'll type it out so you can see it. But then I want you to start posting your redefines in the chats. So let's start with simple one. You don't talk to me means you don't love me. So redefine it. So in order to begin the redefine, you have to figure out what's the cause, what's the effect, or at least recognize one piece of it. And then it's not X, it's Y. It's not that you're X, it's Y. It's not I Y, it's I X, right? So again, just type it in the chat. Susan Miller says, I've been in a room with David working on my stuff. Definitely a good thing. Thank you, Susan. Lucky says, just because a boss doesn't talk to his assistant from time to time doesn't mean he doesn't love her. Oh, there's a loaded statement, Lucky. Jack says, it's not that I don't love you. I've been very busy healing myself. Sinat says, it's not that it means I don't love you. It's that I love you so much. I'm making money. I'm out making money and you and I can spend. Yes, very good. So you guys got this, right? You see, one of the things about the reframe patterns is on the surface, they seem complicated. But the truth is, you've been using them in one form or another your whole life. It's just nobody ever codified them and taught them in a way that came easy. So Barbara Turner says, it's not that I don't love you. I've just been to the dentist. Boom. Excellent, Barbara. Very good. Bingo. How many times did I tell Terry that? Sheesh. Yep. Guys, you guys are good. All right. Here's a little harder one. Cancer causes death. Come on, guys, you got this. Jesse says, it's not that I'm ignoring you, I'm just thinking. Very good. Excellent. Sinat says, it's not that cancer causes death, it's that people are unaware of how their bodies really operate as a whole. Very good. Jack says, it's not that cancer causes death, it's because you don't do the healing work that will stop it. Okay, very nice. Eric Chainsaw says, just because you don't feel love doesn't mean it's true. Okay. But Chainsaw, this is not technically a redefine. Remember that the structure of a redefine is it's not X, it's Y. Or it's not that X, it's that Y. Right? So try to keep to the, when you're first learning this, I'm a bit of a fascist on structure. Once you internalize the perspective or the attitude of each of the patterns, it becomes much easier to generate them. Right? So Sal says, maybe it's not that cancer causes death, it's the lack of adequate treatment shortens life. Excellent, Sal. Very good. Sinat says, it's not that cancer causes death, it's that death is inevitable, and how you go out is determined by how you live your life. Okay, structurally correct. Matthew says, it's not that cancer causes death, it's really that cancer is a severe warning sign to get help. You just want my money. Try that one. Cancer doesn't always cause death, it can reverse. Okay. That would be Jesse Beta, that redefine that pardon me, first day with the new mouth. That pattern that you're using is not a redefine. It's called a counterexample. Okay. It is in the training, but it's not the one we're using. It's not that it's structurally correct, it's that I'm building the structure in first. Very good, sign on. Very good. Right. So you can see, can you see how this could be fun? If you got a bunch of people around a card table and one person threw out a belief and the other people just kept throwing zingers out, we actually incorporate in the Renegade Reframing game in your course. There's in the manual, there's actually a card game that you can print out and cut into cards, and you can actually sit around and throw beliefs at each other and just keep zinging each other. We tested this at the live trainings. People love it. Susan says, it's not that I just want your money, it's that I want you to improve your health. Excellent. Anthony Ann says, it's not that cancer causes death, it's a reminder to appreciate the time you have. Your course is too expensive. and I don't believe it'll work. We call it the reframe game, Jesse. It's included as part of the PDF manual that you get with Renegade Reframing. So let's see here. It's not that cancer causes death. It's just something someone told another that got you to believe it's true. Okay. It's not that cancer causes death. It's the treatments can cause a toll on your body. Excellent. It's not that cancer causes death. It simply forces you to live in a healthier manner. Yes. Excellent. I don't believe in cancer. I love you through your journey. Okay. Technically not the redefine we're going for, Lottie. Okay. I don't believe in cancer. I'll love you through your journey. It's not a redefine. Okay. In fact, it's not a reframe at all. You could say it's not the cancer that kills people. It's the belief that cancer kills people that kills people. And I'll love you through your journey. Okay. Lucille says, it's not that I just want your money. I want everybody's money. So maybe it's not that it's too expensive and work, but that its previous students have made big gains with this course, and it took a great deal of time and effort and both of those factors into its value. Susan says it's not that the course is too expensive, it's that you need to invest in yourself in order for you to get the results that you want. Right? Sinat says it's not that it's too expensive and it won't work, it's that you got to know how much you're worth, both monetarily and the work you're willing to put in. Excellent. I don't need to learn NLP to be successful. You see how fast these things start to flow? So Barbara says the course is less than an iPhone, and since it has a refund guarantee, there's nothing to lose. Very nice, Barbara. Very good. So is this fun? It's not that you don't need NLP to be successful, but it works very well. Yes. It's not the money, it's the skills. There you go, Chainsaw. It's not that learning NLP will or won't make you successful. It's that you do with what you have, and the difference makes the difference. Excellent. Maybe you don't need NLP to be successful, but your success could improve substantially with NLP. Okay. It's kind of in that one's kind of in the ballpark. Again, you could probably get away with it, but I would, for training, Saul, I would stick more with, it's not that you don't need NLP to be successful, but your success with NLP will improve dramatically when you use it. All right, you guys rock this. All right, now let me ask you a question. As you were doing this, what happened to your beliefs about the subject? Maddie's asking, hello, David. I just joined. How long will the webinar offer be open? I need to wait for my husband to come home before I purchase. Okay, so Maddie, since you came late, let me just explain. There's a really big package, okay? The fast action bonuses and the healing intensive are only available until I log off tonight's webinar. However, the main package is available until 11:59 p.m. tonight. If you know you want this package, I would call Moss or email Mia right now, give them your contact information, and if we process your order, either while I'm on the webinar or before the end of tonight, then we'll extend, we can do that, right? But if you, again, we've never done the healing intensive before, so I know for a fact it's probably full already, but go for it. Let's see. Lucky David is the best. Lucky One says, it's not that your course is too expensive. It's just I don't believe my money will work out for you for your budget. Okay. That one is a massive confusion induction. Oh, yes, it can. And they'll give you redirects for your husband. Kid, don't listen to me. I'm not married. Okay. All right, guys. Hey, if you want more, click the link. This is the last call, right? And this is, oh, Rob's coming to the US for training. Finally, Mr. Ryder, you're showing up for a training. All right. All right. Do you guys have fun? You learned some cool stuff? All right. In the words of the immortal Carol Burnett, I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just got started, and before you know it, comes the time. Click the link. We have to say so long. Good night. God bless. I had a ball with you guys tonight. This stuff is always fun. It will change your mind. It will change your life, and everything changes from there. Good night. Take care. God bless. Click that link before it's too late. Take care.